Coast Guard is in active pursuit of a sanctioned dark fleet vessel that is part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. They say that this ship is flying under a false flag and is under a judicial seizure order.
Scott McFarland reports there's growing criticism of the Justice Department's partial release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and it's coming from both sides of the aisle.
The fact that only a fraction have been released, that some have been taken back down, that so many have been redacted prodigiously has raised questions about process here. The federal law under which these files were released called for a full file release by a date certain, December 19th. Only some have been so far, and it's not been the fulsome release that supporters were hoping for. So over the past 72 hours, it's been a defensive posture from the Trump administration, explaining itself, justifying this partial release, saying it's holding things back to prevent impacting witnesses or victims.
Stacey Lynn reports the Department of Homeland Security is upping its offer to undocumented migrants to self-deport.
The exit bonus was $1,000. Now the administration says it's tripling its offer and will give migrants living in the U.S. illegally a $3,000 stipend to essentially leave on their own. To get the money, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said they must register to self-deport through the CBP Home app before the end of the year, and they'll even throw in free airfare.
A car bomb in Moscow has killed another Russian general. Ramy Inocencio has that.
His death is at least the third lieutenant general killed in a bomb over the past year. So there's a string of these happening. Ukraine, as we know, has not commented, and also we know the military rarely does.
Millions of Americans are traveling to their holiday destinations. If you're heading to Texas, pack the warm weather gear. Here's Chris Fox.
A high-pressure heat dome sitting on most of Texas means a warm Christmas. That's according to Dan Brunoff, the chief meteorologist for KRLD Radio in Dallas.
An unseasonably warm weather pattern shaping up for the Lone Star State. Many reporting stations across the state will exceed 80 degrees, and this will be near record-breaking heat.
The unusually warm weather seems perfectly okay for many.
It doesn't make any difference what the temperature is.
Well, I used to have white Christmases, and I got away from all the snow, so we came here.
I grew up in Southern California. 80 degrees is normal.
Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are higher. The Dow up 267. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
A state trooper killed days ago, not the only trooper hit within a week. The story coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio Traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. Seattle Sports has the update. Good news in Sultan. All lanes just reopened between Fern Bluff and Old Owen Roads from an earlier collision that closed the highway for a couple hours. Heading into Seattle, we're seeing volumes pick up southbound. It's thick in Northgate into downtown now. Linwood to Seattle up a bit to 25 minutes. We've got big backups this afternoon heading to the airport. That expressway is backed up from 518 all the way down to the terminals. In Tacoma, southbound 705 at I-5. Crews are still working to clear debris from the on-ramp to northbound I-5. In the meantime, that ramp is still fully blocked, so drivers are being diverted to State Route 7, where you can turn around at 38th Street and get back on North 5 that way. And in Pacific, good news, all northbound lanes of 167 will reopen tomorrow morning at the bridge strike. And at 10 tonight, though, they will shut down the lanes to reconfigure the highway, repaint it, restripe it, all that stuff, and then it'll reopen tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. Washington State Patrol Chief John Batiste says the trooper who was struck and killed while investigating a wreck in Tacoma Friday was the fifth trooper hit on the job within the week.
They know that possibility, but it's always our hope and our prayer that we get through these careers intact.
He describes 29-year-old trooper Tara Marisa Guting as a wonderful young lady. The first motorist who struck Guting on State Route 509 stayed and cooperated with police. Now, police are searching for a second vehicle, a dark-colored Chevy Avalanche or Cadillac Escalade SUV. We have a photo at mynorthwest.com. Puyallup police say a driver who was fleeing cops caused a crash that left several people injured, including a 4-year-old who was in critical condition. Police say it started after they contacted a suspect in a parking lot. He drove off. They did not follow, but a short time later, later, they were called to a crash and discovered that the suspect had run a red light, slamming into the child's family car. The suspect faces charges of vehicular assault. Governor Bob Ferguson says 100 National Guard members are being mobilized to monitor levees along the White and Green Rivers where there were breaches last week. Catherine Sanborn with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says they are operating dams very carefully.
That means a slow and smooth decrease of our outflows so that we manage both levee function and our reservoir elevations while we're holding back behind the dams as we prepare for future storm events.
Ferguson says they are preparing for a possible atmospheric river that could hit by Sunday, but a windstorm midweek is a bigger concern. Homeowners in Sumas are getting some help cleaning up after this month's devastating floods. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Samaritan's Purse is a relief organization responding to disasters all over the world. They've dispatched teams to Whatcom County to ease the burden of flood victims.
So the water level was right about here.
By removing drywall, sheetrock, insulation, and cleaning out crawl spaces.
It's really just setting up these families to be able to rebuild their homes after the disaster.
What's going through your mind as you're watching this group go through? And
this is God's blessing these people, right?
Samaritan's Purse says more work requests are coming in daily. Well, after a delayed start to the ski season, Crystal Mountain, White Pass, and Mission Ridge are all open thanks to heavy snow. Stevens Pass has not yet set its opening day. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rainy and windy with highs in the upper 40s. It's 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO Newsradio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Behold, a fiendish masterpiece from the bowels of hell! Mondays, boy, I hate Mondays. They make me so steamed. Weekends! That was for the weekends! Son of a
Welcome to the show. Happy Monday, December 22nd. We're live. We're here. One of us is at least. Jake Skorheim here. Spike O'Neill is out on Christmas break. Much-deserved Christmas break. Many of you are doing the same thing, but you're still listening and hanging out with us. We appreciate that. Greg Tomlin joins us in studio today for the show. Greg, thanks for coming in.
Always a thrill, Jake. You know that Will Ferrell sketch where he plays the devil and is rocking out on the Fender guitar is one of my all-time favorites. He's also great in a Christmas SNL sketch where he's singing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year" and he's on like a spinny platform and he starts barfing. I just watched that one yesterday and I'm like, man.
He's a very funny guy. I think for especially for guys our age, like guys in our 40s. Will Ferrell's kind of our SNL, unicorn,
comedic North Star.
For my dad's generation, it would have been like Chevy Chase would have been their SNL guy, and then I'm sure there's somebody who's been on SNL since Will Ferrell, but I haven't watched it since then, so I have no idea who. We have a lot of stuff to get to today, a lot of really fun stuff, which we will discuss. It is the week of Christmas. Many of you are out and about. You're shopping right now. You might be off of work. Maybe you're at work and just hanging out for the last couple of days, kind of phoning it in before you take your Christmas break. And so we're happy that you joined us here. So thank you guys so much. And let's jump right into first things first. This story is super depressing and it's awful and it makes me feel awful. And I didn't even want to do it, except that there is a very, very good lesson for Seattle to learn. Question is, will they learn it? I'm dubious that they will learn it. In fact, I'm worried that it's going to get worse, and we're going to see more stories like this. But we'll talk about the details first, then we can discuss whether or not we're going to see more of this or not. This is crazy. There was, I think this was earlier in the month. There was a woman. Her name is Jeanette Markin, 75 years old, nice old lady. Just imagine an old lady, and you've got it. Exactly. She looks like a nice old lady. She's downtown, and she's out and about picking up some takeout food. She's just enjoying her day, picking up some takeout food, probably going to take it home, watch whatever old ladies watch. And she's standing there at a street corner, and there's a guy who has kind of eyed her from a distance, and we see that he's kind of walking up. And the video footage of this is just one of those things that just, please do yourself a favor. Don't watch it. It will haunt you. It will make you not want to be downtown, which is probably the right instinct. It will scare you from putting yourself in situations like this, which is absolutely the right instinct. This guy sees her from a little distance away. He seems to be like a homeless vagrant or something. She clearly has no idea who he is. The question is whether or not she even sees him. And he spies her. He starts walking towards her. He grabs his stuff, whatever he's pulling in his cart. He starts walking in her direction, comes up behind her at the intersection where she's waiting lawfully to cross. She's just waiting for a light so she can cross. And you can kind of tell the video is kind of short before the horrible thing happens. And to me, it looked like she became aware of his presence behind her, as people do. And you're kind of wondering, should I be aware of what this guy's doing behind me? Because we're all, inundated with news stories that are horrible, just like this one. And before she even has a chance to do anything, he has in his hand, it looks like he made it himself, a wooden club. It's described as a wooden club, but it's a long piece of wood. It's a long stick. At the end of that stick is nails that have been pushed through the stick. There's also a really big, looks like a big lag bolt at the end there with just made to do damage. And in the video, and I don't even know if we're supposed to say allegedly because I'm watching the video this happened, but in the video, he rails back, winds up, looks like he's swinging for a fastball, brings it around, and smashes it right into the side of her head. It's either the nail that's sticking out of the wood or the lag bolt, and I apologize for the graphic nature of the description, but it's the news story. Goes into her eye and gouges out her eye. She has to have emergency surgery. She's left there stunned. The guy just kind of decides to walk off at that point. Not run off. He just kind of collects his stick. He's done what he intended to do, it seems, and then he starts walking across the intersection. We have video of this. There's like a traffic cam video of it. There's another person down the way that pulled their phone out when they saw the attack that also got video of the guy walking away. And Jeremy Harris over at Como News put in a FOIA request for this, and so he had the video, and they had it as part of this Como package, and he describes it. Como did not show the moment of impact because it's so horrible, but you've just heard me describe it. But listen to a little bit of Jeremy Harris, who did a great job on this, by the way. And then I'm going to play you a clip in just a second that should infuriate everybody of the police body cam footage on scene responding to the incident. And their familiarity with the alleged attacker it's not good. But let me play you this little clip from Jeremy Harris here.
It's just before noon on December 5th outside the King County Courthouse in Seattle. That's 75-year-old Jeanette Markin standing on the corner, and police say this is Fali Peya walking up with a stick in his hand when out of nowhere he attacks her. Jeanette is knocked to the ground. Bystanders take a picture of the suspect, then rush to help Jeanette.
So listen, I want to play this audio. This is from the Como piece, but this is, again, he got this through the FOIA stuff. So I assume this is police body cam footage. You know the body cams they all wear on their chest? Mm-hmm. Love police body cams. I'm so happy we have them to protect our police officers and to provide evidence in scenes like this. But it also, unfortunately, gives us an insight into the police's, the police awareness of this guy, where you didn't even have to give the name. They didn't even have to give the name to one of the responding officers, and she already knew who it was, just because of the area, and she suspected who she thought it was because of the area that it happened in and the previous attacks allegedly by this guy. Listen to this; it's just wild.
Who is this guy? Is he? He's a regular. He usually punches. I guess today he decided to escalate things.
Listen to that. Usually punches, but he escalated today.
It's way worse than his usual.
Where is he usually?
He's usually just up and down third.
As paramedics race her to the hospital, it becomes obvious police know Fali Peya well.
Do you have the suspect's ID?
Yeah, suspect's ID. He's being searched right now. Yeah. You know him?
Oh, he's notorious for random assaults on 3rd.
He's notorious for random assaults on 3rd. That's crazy. And this poor woman who's just there, she has no idea this guy's notorious. She's not down there all the time. She's just trying to pick up food, and she ends up getting a stick slammed into her face that has a nail and like a big bolt on the end, losing her eye. Listen to this guy's background.
Court records show Peya had multiple prior convictions for assault, including stabbing someone 8 times at a party.
what do you do in a situation like this, Greg? Like, how's it even possible that this guy could be on the street ready to do this, walking around with a stick with nails sticking out of it?
Oh, I mean, I think you're hinting at the answer, but it's a failure of city leadership. And we've been talking about this for years, probably over a decade at this point. And that is some of the worst crimes that are committed in this area are done by repeat offenders that have just not been proportionately or commensurately punished for past crimes. And the city needs to get serious about this. Otherwise, we're going to just continue to see this month over month, year over year, to the chagrin of law-abiding citizens everywhere. And a story like this makes so many of us sick to our stomachs because it's entirely preventable. So I think it should really stimulate two conversations here. One is we need to get tougher on criminals, especially repeat criminals here in the area. And two, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know this offender's entire story or history or mental health story or potential experience with drugs or alcohol and whatnot.
I would assume there's some of all of that.
I really think, and you could pair this story with other news stories that have kind of captured the attention of the nation recently, especially in California, in the Los Angeles area, about the mentally ill. And again, not saying that's the description of this person here, but it wouldn't strain credulity to assume as much. And we need to make asylums great again. We need to make institutionalization great again. Those things have gotten a bad rap in our society where we think, oh, just give a person another chance. Oh, to humanely treat them, we need to let them live on the street. That's the compassionate thing to do. Or we need to turn a blind eye and say, well, they must be going through something that we don't understand. No, I really do believe that we need to convict our city and state leaders with the notion of there is a way to humanely and compassionately treat the mentally ill, the drug addicted, in such a way where they are taken off the streets, put in to institutions where we treat them with love and compassion, but to where they're not a threat to themselves or others. I really think that conversation is long overdue. And if that requires more of our tax dollars, that's one of the few areas I'm all in favor of contributing more of our money to, Jake.
Yeah, I would totally be in line with spending more money on that. You could also just take the money you're spending currently on homeless issues that are getting worse. And you could redirect
some of the billions.
You could redirect that money. We've talked about this story on the show before, but I think the number was in the last 2 years, they spent something around $2.something billion on this homeless issue, which amounted to about $90,000 per person living on the street. And that number increased over that time period. That number went up by 25%. So they're spending more than ever. The number is growing. So the problem is not getting better with money being thrown at it.
It gets worse. It's provable. Data proves it. The causation correlation here. But yeah, the more you spend, the more you're getting of it.
So then the question is, like, what do you do? Just like you were saying, what do you do with people on the streets who clearly, if you ask me, and this is all just, this is two guys speculating. I don't know this guy from anybody, but anyone who walks around the street with a stick and a nail and a giant bolt out of it, attacking sweet old ladies, clearly has a screw loose. That's my speculation. And why they're not forcefully removing him from the street is, just imagine this guy was at one point, he was a baby. He was somebody's kid. And now, I don't know if it's because he had a road of drugs that then messed his brain up or if he had a chemical imbalance or whatever it was. He now finds himself on the street attacking helpless old women who now our sympathy has to shift away from him and it has to shift to completely blameless victims like this old lady who's just walking around doing nothing but ordering food, like helping the local economy when this guy's making it worse just by being around. Listen to the son of this victim. This is crazy. Just imagine your mom was in a situation like this. Like my mom's almost this lady's age. If my mom too, you look way younger, by the way. But if my mom's listening, but my mom is about this lady's age, so I'm probably about this guy's age that you're about to hear. This is the son of the victim, who is after the fact. Imagine getting that call from your mom at the hospital because she's laying there on the ground before somebody finally comes up and helps her. She gets to the hospital. They take her emergency surgery. They have to do multiple surgeries. She's now lost her eyesight. And your son has to be informed that your mom was just attacked randomly by this guy with a pretty extensive background, including stabbing somebody 8 times in that last clip that Como played. And what do you do with that information? Like, would you ever tell your parents to go downtown again? No. Heck no. Like I say this to my wife, anytime she's going to go out with her girlfriends or go do something, I'm like, you know what's great? is wine country or Bellevue. That's nice. You know what's not great? Like downtown. And it's people can text in if they're angry about that. That's fine. But when stuff like this happens, you got to be so vigilant and care. Like, why risk it? Why risk it if this is going to happen, if they're not going to keep a guy like this off the street?
No, I think you're exactly right that this story highlights a lot of the fears that people have who live in surrounding areas of Seattle. I have multiple extended family members that have sworn off visiting the city. And a lot of times I will try to diminish those fears and say, oh, it's not as bad, or look at the data, it's getting better here or there. But
then they send you this story.
And then they send you stories like this that you cannot argue with, because this is all too frequent of an occurrence, and especially with repeat offenders. I mean, this 75-year-old woman should not have had to be subject to a life-altering injury because of the failures of leadership around here. And that's what I directly draw a straight line from.
I totally agree with you. I want Seattle to be successful, and it's a great city, and I love it, and I've lived and worked here for most of the majority of my life. When I was 16, my first job here was as a ball boy for the Sonics, which was a dream job.
Super Sonics.
So I grew up in Snohomish, and then I would drive down here. So I'd leave high school just thrilled. I'm heading down to the big city 2 or 3 nights a week during the season. And, you park off of, you get off on Mercer there. It's now a new they've totally taken out that parking structure that was there, but it's now part of I think it's part of the Bill Gates. It's not Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation anymore, is it? I think it's just Gates Foundation. Anyway, I think it's part of their structure now, but it used to be a parking lot. I'd park there. I'd walk across past what's now the AMP. I'd walk across Seattle Center and into what was Key Arena, now Climate Pledge Arena. And then at night, I wouldn't be leaving until sometimes 11 o'clock at night. It's just a bunch of post-game stuff you got to get done. Never was it a real worry that somebody was going to just outright attack me. And I was 16 years old. My parents didn't worry about it. They're not like super big warriors, but like and maybe if they worried, they just didn't tell me about it. But they weren't worrying about me getting attacked randomly on the street.
Well, that same experience now would include copious amounts of homeless tents, fentanyl
you're right
in
there.
abundance,
yes.
Mentally ill, kind of wandering around. You have to have your head on a swivel.
Would I let my 10-year-old son in 6 years, God willing, the Sonics come back, and I still have friends who work there, God willing, and my son has the opportunity to be a ball boy, which would be a dream, and whoever's in the future Sonics organization, please reach out. Would I be comfortable with him doing the same thing that I did? No, I would not, because I would end up I would be just petrified of being in a situation like this son of this victim was. Listen to him talk about his mom and the surgery she's had.
And it's not her responsibility to know like what parts are good, what parts are like she cannot walk there.
Andreas Verikis is Jeanette Markham's son.
How's your mother doing?
Right now, she's out of the second surgery.
After several surgeries, she's been told she won't recover sight in her eye and may need even more reconstructive surgeries.
To take like a wood club with nails and just, no, I'm gonna hit her with all the force on her face. It's like, that's not someone you can recover or help. I don't understand that.
And I think he zeroes in on the right question, right at the end of this next statement here, this clip here.
I want someone to at least say to my mom, hey, we're working on this. We're trying to fix this. Like, no, yeah, he's unusual. Like, usual what? Attacking people? Civilians? Like, what the hell is wrong with your system?
Great question. What the hell's wrong with your system?
And again, the cops know who the bad guys are. They know who's going around the city.
They knew it without even having to be told what his name was.
Able to commit assaults and do mass amounts of drugs. Talk to the cops, and let's figure out a better way to make the city safer. Because I feel like you're telling these cops to do their jobs with one hand or even both hands tied behind their back.
Or just to ignore things.
Yeah, or just be apathetic or indifferent until something really, really bad happens, and then we can get them off the street temporarily.
I don't see how it gets much worse than this. I mean, it'll be interesting to see with Katie Wilson what that looks like in 2 years. Like, we've had Harrell, who's been pretty good on law enforcement, like pretty decent as far as Seattle mayors goes, but
in terms of incremental improvements, I think I would agree to some degree. Katie Wilson, I'm pessimistic. I'll just say that, Jake.
I like Bellevue.
Beautiful this time of year.
Beautiful. Bellevue's nice. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Can we play? There's a couple of stories we still got to get to. We have a Washington politician who's part of a protest now in front of Starbucks, which is interesting, which we'll play some clips of. It's kind of funny. And then also, there's a court case that took a wild turn, and we're going to have to get into that when we come back. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. It's John Curley from KIRO Radio's John Curley Show. Remember, the greatest present you can give is yourself. Your presence is the greatest present. Besides, it's really hard to re-gift your Uncle Bob. It makes a lot of noise in the box. From all of us here at KIRO Radio and the John Curley Show, have yourself a Merry Christmas and, of course, a Happy New Year.
From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch.
We'll be keeping an eye on this very closely.
KIRO News Radio's meteorologist Ted Beener on a storm that is expected to blow in this week.
That low hugging the Washington coast and moving up into Vancouver Island in the evening hours of Christmas Eve.
He says it's forecast to bring gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour. Those winds should die down by Christmas morning. Still, no charges for a semi-truck driver arrested on suspicion of killing another driver in Auburn more than a week ago.
The 25-year-old driver from India, identified by federal officials as being in the U.S. illegally, was released on bail despite an ICE detainer. King County spokesperson Casey McNerthney says the State Patrol has not yet sent a criminal referral because the investigation is still ongoing.
And so prosecutors can't make a charging decision one way or the other.
Court records say the semi-driver did not brake and falsified his logbook before crashing into a car on State Route 167, killing 29-year-old Robert Pearson on December 11th. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Nurses at Seattle Children's Hospital are taking what they call a last resort step at voting on whether or not to authorize a strike. Today's vote follows an informal picket, a full-page ad in the Seattle Times, and a social media push from Mayor-elect Katie Wilson urging the hospital to bargain in good faith.
They've had our backs, and now it's time that we have theirs.
A Seattle Children's spokesperson tells KIRO News Radio the hospital is dedicated to working with the Washington State Nurses Association to reach a fair agreement as soon as possible. Hospitals are seeing a lot of this.
This flu season is no joke.
Dr. Amanda Kravitz at Weill Cornell in New York City. She says there's a particularly tough strain of the virus going around.
We are seeing more cases than we would expect for this time of year.
The CDC estimates there have been 4.6 million flu cases across the U.S. since the season began. 1,900 patients have already died from it. Seattle's longest-serving police chief has died at the age of 95. Patrick Fitzsimmons was a former New York cop who served in Seattle from 1979 to 1994. The Seattle Times says he took over after the city was shaken by a gambling and vice protection racket that involved high-ranking members of the SPD. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 251 points. NASDAQ ahead 118. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Heather. In Linwood, we just cleared a collision South 5 and 196. Traffic stacks up, though, approaching the interchange still. Heading into Seattle, South 5, you're packed from basically Northgate Way to Lake City Way, and then from there it turns into scattered backups into downtown. Linwood to Seattle still around 25 minutes. North 5 at the Rainier Brewery, you've got a car fire blocking two right lanes. Up in Canyon Park, South 405 is crowded between Damson Road there and Alderwood down to 527. If you're heading to SeaTac Airport, the expressway is improving, but still packed about halfway up from the terminal still. In Tacoma, the southbound 705 on-ramp to North 5 has reopened. North 5 jams up briefly in South Tacoma between 84th and 56th, and a wind advisory is in effect at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rainy and windy with highs in the upper 40s. It's 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's talk a little bit about a small local business that's just trying to survive. And you have all these politicians who are jumping on board and protesting it. It's a tiny little company called Starbucks. Greg, do you drink a lot of coffee? You a coffee guy?
I do. Usually just 1 cup a day I try to limit myself to. Yeah. Well, that's not true. When I'm filling it on the radio right before we go live to air, I'll utilize that coffee machine right outside the studio, and I'll get a little pick-me-up before we go live.
This is cup number 3. I try to limit myself to 4 cups a day.
Ooh, you're pushing it.
Yeah, which is, I think, too much, actually. I think it is too much. But I put a lot of cream in my coffee, which is also not good.
Balances it out.
I think it's cutting back on the caffeine, but it's probably more of the fats than I need. And I don't know if that's healthy but you know what? I feel great.
You look great.
I look great. Thank you. All right. So why are we talking so much about coffee? This is Representative Pramila Jayapal, who represents Washington State in Congress. She was in front of a Starbucks, in front of Starbucks headquarters, actually. And she is, if you guys haven't seen this video, I'm just interested in this because there's this big protest happening right now. There is unions at a union at Starbucks who is trying to get a better contract. And they're basically, I don't know if you read the details of what Starbucks has offered or does offer their employees. It's not bad. Have you looked into this?
I've got the facts in hand here.
All right. I want to play some of, actually, no, I want you to give us some of the facts, and then I'm going to play you this cut of Representative Jayapal in front of Starbucks headquarters. And not only that, she's also in front of a effigy of CEO Brian Niccol, who has also been affixed with horns and money bags at his feet as if he has taken something away from baristas and is now collecting it devilishly for himself. But I want to give people listening
a little
context on what Starbucks already offers. And this isn't just for full-time. I don't know if you looked into this, but this is like just hourly employees, not even full-time workers at Starbucks. But give us some context on what they're already paying people.
Yeah, so Starbucks employees, typically baristas, start at about $20+ per hour with a potential total compensation, pay plus benefits, reaching $27 an hour. It includes health insurance, 401k, tuition aid, paid time off, free coffee, and Spotify, which I didn't know.
It's pretty nice.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. The paid tuition's for Arizona State University online, but still, you get a degree from Arizona State. And Spike often makes a joke anytime we bring this up that you have to wear a belly shirt when you go to ASU, which I don't know if you want to see that with a lot of people who work at Starbucks, but whatever. So that's a pretty good, and those aren't even full-time employee benefits. Those are just their average, and they call them associates, is that right? Is that what a Starbucks associate? That's just somebody working hourly. And you're making over $20 an hour, but they're saying, this union who's protesting for a better contract, they're saying, well, that's not a living wage. So it's Starbucks' responsibility to pay us a living wage. Now, the question ends up kind of breaking down like, all right, well, what is a living wage? Like to one person, it's different than it is to another. Also, the cities that you're talking about living in, there's a lot of people who make a lot more money than let's say, pie in the sky. They get $50 an hour. Is that enough to live in Seattle? With even one person that you have in your household besides yourself? Probably not.
I almost find in the purest competitive capitalist in me wants to just shun that conversation altogether and say the free market dictates what a person gets paid and what a person is willing to get paid to
Living
do.
Wage is ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No,
so the whole conversation, what should a person be making? Well, that's irrelevant in the equation, right? If Starbucks is offering you a job at this price with this type of benefits, you have the freedom to choose whether or not you want to continue your employment there if they'll hire you.
Yeah.
So in other words, like I reject this notion that we should even have a say on what is a quote-unquote living wage.
Well, working there is not obligatory.
Exactly right. It's not mandatory.
I doubt
no one has a gun to your head is saying this is the only job that's offered in the entirety of the Seattle area or the Pacific Northwest.
I also doubt that they went around just finding people and forcing them to work at Starbucks. I imagine most of the people who work at Starbucks who are now protesting,
it's a
if
pretty
they
nice
even work
gig.
there, I bet you they applied for the job. And I bet you when they applied for the job, they probably had some idea of the pay scale, but whatever. This is Representative Jayapal in front of the Starbucks headquarters. Let's see what she had to say.
Restore this country, not just one store, not just 215 stores, not just one company, but you are helping us to restore this country to a place where we actually can get rid of the wealth inequality, the income inequality, all the ways in which workers are getting screwed every day. So thank you to all of you for being out here. Thank you, allies, for being on the picket line. And no contract. No coffee. No contract. No coffee. No contract. No coffee. Thank you, everybody.
Ow, 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 ow. That's her closer. That's a good one. No contract, no coffee. Do you think she came up with that? It's probably told her to say that. I'm sure that's like a catchphrase that they already came up with. And
Catchphrases, those things are pretty easy to come up with, especially in the age of Chat GPT.
You're right.
Give me a quick, pithy, effective.
Something fast.
No blank, no blank.
No more than 4 words. And Chat
got some rhythm to it.
Says, oh, we got it. Perfect. It did remind me, this was Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson. This is November 13th. And do you remember the election was, November 5th? Is it 5th? That's right, isn't it?
Sure, why not?
Let's call it 5th. But then there was all those late votes that came in.
That's
they had
right.
to count those really tight between her and Harold. And initially, Harold was leading. And then all the late day of progressive votes came in, and Katie Wilson just took a pretty sizable lead. And so he ends up conceding, I believe, on the 13th. The first opportunity she had to speak after he conceded was on the 13th. And before she even did anything, she got up in front of one of these, when this protest started. This is when this protest started. This is what she had to say, right? It's like her very first unofficial act, I guess you would say, because she's not officially mayor yet. But her very first unofficial act as mayor was to tell you to stop drinking Starbucks coffee.
Oh my gosh, it is so amazing to be here today. You all are beautiful. Here we are. Thank you to the incredible Starbucks partners and workers who are here today and fighting across the country for a fair contract and for a union.
Partners, that's what they call them, not associates, partners. It is worth noting, it is such a small percentage of workers that are actually unionized in Starbucks. I think they have 10,000 stores in the United States, and I think less than 4% of those are unionized stores. I could have those numbers off, but that's just an approximation. It's somewhere around there. It's a very small number. Like you said, Greg, they make a pretty fair wage. I mean, when you really dig into what Starbucks is paying people, I don't know, it feels disingenuous to me to say that they're just screwing their partners by not paying them what is owed and deserved when you can get free college out of the deal. Like when I was working at Tully's, when I was 17, 18, they didn't offer free college. I barely got like the day-old pastries. They usually made me donate those. Every once in a while, I'd drop one, sneak it in the back. Tully's is no longer around, and probably because they're fast and loose with the pastry box. I don't know. But I think Starbucks pays a pretty fair wage. And we'll see what happens with this. Is Starbucks going to budge? I don't know. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
Here we go. Darnold has time. Looks inside. It's caught! The Seahawks win the game!
Playoff berth?
An instant classic.
This is who we are. That's Seahawk football.
Check.
Probably the craziest game I've ever seen.
With the playoffs looming, what's next?
You know, we're always going to fight.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com.
They now have the inside track on having the best record in the NFC.
And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
You know the rush when you reach that goal? When something you've worked for pays off? That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This holiday season, you might not realize you've had a little bit too much to drink at the company party until you find yourself pulled over on the way home for a DUI. This is Jonathan Dichter from DUI Heroes, here to remind you that even good people make simple mistakes. Our team of heroes is ready to help you through this season to make sure you can get back to the things that are most important, your family and your life. Call us now at 1-800-DUI-HERO or find us online at DUIHeroes.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels. A $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The 37th Annual Holiday Magic was another one for the record books. Thanks to everyone who donated.
You always come through.
It's not too late to donate. Just go to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
All right, welcome back to the show. Greg Tomlin in for the whole show today. Spike O'Neill is off on Christmas vacation. Many of you are going to be off on Christmas vacation, or you are right now, and you're choosing to hang out with us. We really appreciate that. You can text us what you're doing this week, and I'd love to know. 888-973-5476. Next hour, this is going to be fun. We're actually going to talk about just trying to find ways to pepper in Christmas themed things. So we're going to talk about Christmas music and what song is very meaningful to you and why you love it so much. Conversely, you can also tell us which songs you hate and you love to hate. You're welcome to do that. You can hit us up at 888-973-5476. So we'll get into that right around 1:30. All right. Before we go to the break here for the top of the hour, I saw this story, Greg, and I was fascinated by this because I have always had in my head, I have a friend of mine who's a pretty avid mountain climber, and he's done some pretty impressive climbs. And the work that he has put in to be able to do these climbs, I mean, you have to go and live at certain elevations for a while before you can move up to the next elevation. And you're literally putting your life on the line. It's an incredible expense. It's an incredible amount of time away from your family as well. I don't have that drive to go and climb up to a high mountain. I'm happy to, wave at somebody from a distance. But I know that for a lot of people, it's like they almost have a spiritual experience. You get to the top of a summit and you look out and you've conquered something. And there's meaning. There's actual meaning behind it. You're looking around, you see the world differently when you're looking at it from that angle. And so Everest has always been one of those things that just sits at the top because it's the tallest. And so people spend their entire lives trying to get to the top of Mount Everest, and for some reason or another, sometimes it's weather doesn't allow them to. Like maybe they get up to the, right near the final stretch and a bad weather pattern sets in and you lose your window and you never get there again. And now it's getting easier to get to the top of Everest.
Yeah, and some 600 to 900 people attempt to climb it every year from the research that I've done. About 5 to 6 people die per year. But you're right, the adventure or the ascension is becoming more accessible to the masses. And if you're willing to pay top dollar now, you can almost even have a type of luxury experience around Mount Everest in the Himalayas, which is pretty wild.
We've
come a long way from Tenzing Norgay, is what I will say.
Who's the local guy here who went to the top? Was it Jim Whitaker? Is that the guy's name? Can you look that up real fast? Jim Whitaker. Ian, look that up real fast for me, would you? Laura's not in today either, by the way. Laura's gone. I don't have a producer, so Greg and I are winging it here. But Ian, can you look that up? Jim Whitaker, he's a local mountain climber. He's a local legend. I believe he went to the top of Everest, and I believe he was also one of the first guys to do it without the aid of oxygen, if I have that correct. Is that right, Ian?
On May 1st, 1963, he became the first American to reach the summit of Everest ever. So, first
Amazing.
American on top of
So
Everest.
what was Edmund Hillary? He was not an American? Pardon my ignorance on the
Lives
Mount
in Port
Everest
Townsend
history
now.
here.
I think he might have passed away. Did he pass away? Look that up. Is he still with us? Jim, if you're still with us, I apologize.
96 years old.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
1929.
We should get that guy on
And
the
Edmund
show.
Hillary was from New Zealand.
Yeah.
This has turned into a trivia pub night here on the show.
And now you know. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so here's, you think of those guys. Those are great explorers. Those are guys who have put it all out there. I mean, they let it all hang out there. They risk their life and limb to get up there with a Sherpa. But they climb it, and they get there, and they lose fingers and toes. You and I were talking before the segment. There's like a bunch of dead bodies littering the way.
Literally hundreds scattered around Everest that have attempted the feat but have failed.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Or they've gotten to the top and then died on the way down, because going down is also really treacherous.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You
any
can die
day
on
the
the-
weather turns.
Yes.
I mean, it's like sayonara.
And it's so precarious to get up and down that oftentimes you can't even get down, and there's bodies up there for decades and decades. They're going to be up there forever.
Does this fascinate you like it does me? I am a sucker for going down the YouTube rabbit hole and watching the 4K or 8K handheld videos of people either just walking through major cities. So the latest one this time of year is a guy walks through a Nuremberg Christmas market in Germany with a 4K camera, and it's a steady cam, and he just walks through the whole market for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
I've also watched a guy do this with Mount Everest, a guy ascending Mount Everest with like a 4K camera, and you feel like you're there. It's pretty wild, except you're on your couch watching it. And I don't know what it is about it, but you're just like magically transported to all these areas of the world. And I don't know, maybe it's making us lazier, me personally lazier by indulging these,
Listen,
but
I'll be
I
honest
really
with you.
like him.
You could spend half your life working to get to the top of Everest, or you can sit on the couch and have a drink, and you could watch somebody do it in sparkling 4K. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
I find my IPA taste better when I'm watching people do
It tastes
amazing
colder.
feats of strength and courage and bravery on mountaintops thousands of feet in the air.
Listen to how easy it is to get to the top of Everest now, if you've got the money.
Commercial expeditions have transformed Everest into high-altitude luxury. Today, some climbers pay up to $180,000 for premium packages
It's a
that
lot.
come with private chefs, a movie theater,
You're not seeing this if you're listening, obviously, because it's a audio medium, but they're literally showing, this is a 60 Minutes piece, they're showing these Sherpas up there in a kitchen. They have constructed a kitchen inside a tent, and they're making these adorable little, like, tiny little muffins.
Little Smokies or something?
No, like tiny little muffins. I'm sure they got little Smokies up there. There's another one who's like very carefully flipping breakfast sausage. It's completely taken any of the impressiveness out. This is all just going to be like tech CEOs. It's all tech CEOs
Never
now.
underestimate the human capacity to commercialize everything, right?
Yes.
Isn't that part of the lesson here? And some naysayers have to be upset here that some of the purity of the experience is being ruined.
Well, that's what I'm
They'll
saying.
just put another hotel there eventually, and for the people at the right price, they'll be able to get this all-inclusive experience. And previously, I think part of the allure for a lot of climbers, I'm not one, is that there is some type of authentic, unique oneness with nature feel to it like our national parks. I mean, that's why we don't have hotels and luxurious things in our national parks.
But again, that's all achievable from your couch now. You just watch a 4K video and you've done it. You basically done it, which is nice.
If you're into that sort of thing.
If you're into that sort of thing. All right, we got a lot more coming up. You should stick around. You're not going to want to miss any of this. Do you guys remember that Kiss Cam lady who was caught at that Coldplay concert? She's out there trying to rehabilitate her public image. And my question is, was she a public person beforehand? What is she trying to rehabilitate? Why don't you just stay home? We'll talk about that and a lot more next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day. That's cvshealth.com/investor day.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The U.S. Coast Guard is pursuing a third tanker off Venezuela, ramping up the pressure on the Venezuelan president. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi has more from Washington.
Given that the entire premise of the attacks so far on alleged Venezuelan drug boats have been about dealing with so-called narco-terrorists. Well, now it appears that the U.S. government is very willing to engage in an oil blockade and seizing this so-called sanctioned Venezuelan oil in boats off of the coast and near the water. So certainly amounts to provocation, to an escalation, and we'll have to see just where this goes and how many more other ships the U.S. is willing to seize.
A Maryland man at the center of the administration's immigration crackdown has been given another reprieve, as Stacey Lynn reports.
A federal judge ruled that Kilmar Abrego Garcia will remain free from detention until at least January 30th. And she's ordered the Justice Department to inform her by Friday what their plans are for him. The administration is attempting to deport him to Liberia or another country. He was released earlier this month after the judge found the government had detained him without, quote, lawful authority.
Today is a big travel day. CBS's Chris Van Cleve on what to expect.
The holiday travel season is expected to shatter records. Airlines tell us that this is one of those holiday seasons where the volume does not really dip in between Christmas and New Year's days. It ends up staying heavy day after day, averaging 3 million flyers a day. To meet that demand, carriers are adding seats and flights, but most of those planes are full.
If you're planning to be around lots of family, keep in mind the flu season is here. The CDC is reporting about 4.5 million cases. Dr. Amanda Kravitz of Weill Cornell in New York.
This flu season is no joke. We are seeing more cases than we would expect for this time of year. Specifically, we're seeing influenza A, and within influenza A, we are seeing a subtype or variant called H3N2. There are tons of these cases throughout the country, and it is causing a very, very severe flu.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $1.6 billion, the fourth largest ever, and it has a lot of folks dreaming big.
It's so overwhelming to even think about that amount of money at one time, but I would definitely take my family on a nice vacation, my whole family.
On Wall Street at the closing bell, stocks were higher. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 227 points, and the NASDAQ was higher by 121. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Police search for a second vehicle involved in the death of a state trooper. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Heather, all in all, we're looking pretty good out there. We do still have a pretty big crash in South Tacoma, our biggest one on the map right now, and that's North 5 at South 56, taking up the left lane. It had 2 lanes blocked for a while, and we've got a solid backup starting near Bridgeport Way. Olympia to Tacoma has shot up to a 55-minute commute. That's a 25-minute delay. Tacoma to Olympia going the other way is just 40 minutes, but you do have a pretty good sizable backup there through JBLM. Here in Seattle, South 5 has improved a bit, but we're still slow from Northgate into downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 20 to 25 minutes. We cleared our earlier car fire, North 5 by the Rainier Brewery. Still got a backup that starts near the Michigan Curve to get through. SeaTac Airport is still busy on the expressway, but again, slowly improving, packed about halfway up from the terminals. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. State Patrol Chief John Batiste says the state trooper killed Friday was the 5th trooper struck by vehicles within a week. Batiste spoke to KIRO 7 TV about notifying the family of 29-year-old Tara Marisa Guting.
I understand the grief that they're feeling because I'm feeling that same grief.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with the latest on the investigation.
Police now say 2 vehicles struck 29-year-old state trooper Tara Marissa Guting as she worked an accident along State Route 509 in Tacoma. Spokesperson Shelby Boyd told KIRO 7 TV they want to talk with that second driver.
We want the full picture in doing this investigation, and that vehicle, that person is going to help us.
The vehicle they're looking for is a dark-colored Chevy Avalanche or Cadillac Escalade. It's a pickup truck-style SUV. We have a photo of it on mynorthwest.com. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Still no charges for a semi-truck driver arrested on suspicion of killing another driver in Auburn more than a week ago. Federal agents say the 25-year-old driver from India was in the country illegally and was released on bail despite an ICE detainer. Spokesman Casey McNerney says the King County Prosecutor's Office has not yet received paperwork from the State Patrol, which is still investigating.
And so prosecutors can't make a charging decision one way or the other.
Court records say the driver failed to brake, killing 29-year-old Robert Pearson on December 11th. A driver heading over Snoqualmie Pass just got slapped with a fine after being stopped with a huge chunk of icy snow stuck to the top of a minivan. Trooper Rick Johnson.
It is the law that you clear your vehicle prior to traveling on the roadway.
Ice can smash through a windshield or force other drivers to swerve dangerously, and snow flying off a car can make it hard to see. Governor Bob Ferguson is calling up 100 members of the National Guard to watch for levee problems along the White and Green Rivers in King County. There were breaches on those levees last week. Cleanup from historic flooding continues across western Washington. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss has more from Whatcom County.
Chris Sanders says he couldn't believe how quickly his house in Sumas filled with water.
By the time I get to the house from 50 feet away, it's right here.
Up to your thigh.
Up to the thigh.
So many people like Chris need help, and that's where a group like Samaritan's Purse comes in.
Seeing what can be salvaged, what has to be thrown away.
Samaritan's Purse is a relief organization responding to disasters all over the world. They've dispatched teams to Whatcom County to ease the burden of flood victims.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rainy and windy today with highs in the upper 40s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Behold, a fiendish masterpiece! From the bowels of hell! Mondays for a hit. Turn this off. That got played on accident. It's in the system. I think it's usually we only play
it
it
wasn't
the first hour.
So nice you had to hear it twice.
Well, it's not Ian's fault. Somebody else programmed it. Ian's good. He knows what he's doing. It's not his fault. All right. We got a lot of stuff to get to in this hour. If you guys want to be part of the conversation in just a few minutes, this is really fun. At 1:30, we're going to talk about Christmas music, which everybody loves, obviously. Some people hate it, but they're kind of Grinches. And there's a song for that as well. But at 1:30-ish, we're going to talk about what Christmas songs we really love and then also which ones we really hate. And so you guys can text us right now. And if you have any that are great, then we will try to include those into some of our conversations. So 888-973-5476. It's really easy to remember. 888-973-KIRO. All right. We have a couple stories I do want to get to before we get to that. This first one is a terrible, horrible story, but it's also a very good reminder to stay safe out there. Our law enforcement in our state does an amazing job. Our Washington State Patrol officers, our sheriff's deputies who keep us safe and keep dangerous people hopefully off of the streets and also off of the roads. That's a really dangerous job, and it's very scary. And I believe this was just on Friday night. This is a horrible story. Very young, 29-year-old Washington State Patrol trooper, Tara Marissa Guting, died when she was she was on the side of the road. She was responding to there was a vehicle that hit her on the side of the road. That driver did not run off. Were questioned by police. They didn't make an arrest in that case. But then after she was struck, she went into the street and was a second vehicle, apparently. This is the new information that we're learning, according to Tacoma Police Department. A second vehicle they're now looking at to see if a second vehicle struck and possibly killed Officer Guting at that point. I'm going to play you a little bit of audio. This is from the public information officer for Tacoma Police Department. Her name is Shelby Boyd. And they're not sure right now. They're looking for this vehicle, and they're not sure right now which of the vehicles is responsible. One vehicle did not stick around. The other one did, and they got information from the driver. And so it's possible that it's just an accident, but this is a very scary thing. And let me play you a little bit from Shelby Boyd, the PIO at Tacoma Police Department.
Sure. At this point, which strike was the fatal? And so when that complete package is put together, that's when charging decisions will be made in this case.
So what they're describing is the vehicle that they have, which is on a kind of a grainy camera footage. I'm not even sure where the video comes from. Is it a traffic cam? Is it on the on her vehicle that was nearby? I don't know. But it's kind of a grainy image of what looks like an SUV. So I'll describe it for you here. And this is Tacoma Police are looking for this vehicle right now. They're describing it as either a four-door Chevy Avalanche, it looks black, or a four-door Cadillac Escalade EXT style pickup. Have you seen these? They're like big SUVs, really nice looking, reasonably new. I mean, I'm thinking. I mean, there are older versions of these vehicles, but this looked reasonably new to me. They say it had possibly chrome handles and chrome running boards as well. But again, the picture that they're looking at is so grainy, but it's so scary. And the Tacoma PIO says these are the types of stories that will just haunt officers for their entire career because of kind of the randomness of it and just how inherently dangerous the job is to begin with. And stuff like this can happen.
Those stick with you for a career. And then to the officers, troopers, deputies that were on scene that night, those are things that never leave your mind.
So what they're saying is basically the initial impact caused her to be thrown into the right lane of southbound 509, and then the trooper was incapacitated, was just lying there motionless. Who knows what was happening at the time? Was she already deceased at that point? Was she just knocked out? They don't know. And then this other vehicle, which they think then possibly ran over her, which is just a horrible story. And they come away from the story with just really good advice. If you see any member of law enforcement who has pulled somebody over, I mean, what do you generally do when you see somebody who's being pulled over? If you're driving past?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, for me, this story just highlights even more the appreciation that I have for troopers, officers, the law enforcement element of our society, because as civilians, I think we grasp the notion that cops are sometimes met with dangerous situations when they come face to face with the criminal element.
Sure.
But there's also that aspect to the job of being in dangerous situations that you might not consider dangerous on their surface. So a lot of times I'll see cops having pulled someone over on the freeway, and my default instinct is to like pray for that cop's safety, because honestly, there's freak accidents that happen and there are cars whizzing by at 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, and in an age of negligent driving that's off the charts, and distracted driving. Distracted driving is a real thing. It's extremely dangerous just to do a routine pullover in some areas, depending on how highly trafficked the area is here. And yeah, they want to catch this second driver, probably to question them.
That's the interesting
to find
part.
out. I mean, there's no insinuation here that this was done on purpose.
No, and that's
as of yet. But at least they're trying to get the fuller story of what happened here and why not just one car but two.
Think about driving at night. It's dark.
Yeah,
and you hit something in the road, and you're in a big vehicle, and you hit something in the road, and you don't necessarily think to yourself, like, especially if you're on a highway, you're not thinking like, oh, that's a person I just hit.
Well, and oftentimes with your headlights, you don't see it until it's right up in front of the car, and it's too late to do anything.
Sure.
But that's part of the reason they want to catch this driver and question them on what was going on.
I could see a version of this where somebody might think, did I hit? Was there rubbish in the road? Was there like I was on 2 the other day, and there's a coyote laying in the middle of the road, and like very easy for a car to hit, especially at night, run over a coyote, and it was the coyote had already been hit, and it's like very easy to hit that without seeing it and then you drive past it, and you wouldn't necessarily think to yourself, I just hit a person. You might think, I just hit an animal that was in the road, and I'm wondering if that person. So now it sounds like what Tacoma Police Department is asking now is like, hey, if you or somebody you know were on in a vehicle Friday night and you had a disturbance on the road, please reach out because there's some questions that need to be asked.
Well, and at a time of the season, too, where there is so much joy and excitement and hope and goodwill and things like that, it's also an important reminder that hardship and adversity still meet a lot of people this time of year. I thought about this with the shooting of the 2 National Guard members right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's awful.
And just thinking about what their families must be going through and stuff. And so, again, important to acknowledge that hardship continues for a lot of people during this season where we try to put that all out of sight, out of mind.
This is Shelby Boyd, the PIO. This is her advice on road safety.
If you can't move over because there's other vehicles, slowing your vehicle down so that you can eventually get over, it's really important. And this is showing us exactly why.
I mean, that's kind of that's my rule of thumb is if I do see somebody pulled over, if I do see a cop pulling somebody over on the side of the road, I will always try to get into the other lane if I see it in time, give them a wide berth. Just to be, it's the same respect you would pay for somebody who's walking on the road, like especially if you drive downtown or anything. There's always pedestrians out near the side of the road. I always try to get over. I'll even get over in the other lane if I see a bike rider who's nearby, just because I don't want anything possibly bad to happen. Because I'm going to be safe in my giant vehicle, but that bike rider or that pedestrian, if they were to trip or to fall or whatever happens, they're in a very bad situation.
I mean, driver's ed was a long time ago for us, Jake, but don't you recall instruction as to where if you're going at a certain speed or something, sometimes you can even make things worse if you swerve or like slam on the brakes. If you see like a small object, I was always told that like if you see a squirrel in the middle of the road or something like that, the worst thing you can do is slow down or try to avoid it because you might hit some other obstruction or oncoming traffic or the person behind you might not see the squirrel and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a complex situation. It's hard to get in the state of mind or even the conditions that drivers were met with that night on that dark highway where this trooper was tragically struck.
It's possible that other driver who they're looking for in this, this truck-like vehicle, like either it's a Cadillac or a Chevy Avalanche, whatever it was, they may not even have known until the moment of impact. So if you're out there, reach out. To me, that not reaching out implies guilt, and reaching out would be like, I can see a version where somebody hears this story right now and they feel like, oh man, I hit something on Friday night. And you're thinking in your head, like, should I reach out and get in trouble, or should I just try to avoid it and maybe it goes away? I think that would haunt somebody's conscience for the rest of their life. Just reach out, explain the situation, and, hopefully everything, somebody's already lost their life. So they need answers on these things. That's what you should do. You should reach out because they need answers. I want to say real fast, I was, was this Friday night or Saturday night? I think it was Friday night. Saturday night, maybe. Doesn't matter. Over the weekend. I was in Snohomish, downtown Snohomish. And there was this not impromptu, I didn't know about it, so I felt like it was impromptu, but it was planned. But it's unofficial parade that they do, like this light parade. Mm-hmm. All these people come in, they dress their vehicles up with lights, and then they go down that main drag in Snohomish, Old Town, antique-y Snohomish.
Sure.
Whatever that avenue is. Maybe it's Avenue D or whatever it is, right above the water there. And there's just like hundreds and hundreds of vehicles and like giant trucks, totally decked out in Christmas stuff. It was so cool. I posted about it on my Instagram and also X at Jake Skorheim. So you can see a video of this there. It's really, really neat. But one thing that was really cool. So I'm out and about walking around. There's tons of people outside. Walking out and about with my kids, and we're standing there. We're watching this parade happen. And there was one Snohomish police officer from the Snohomish PD, and then there was 2 Snohomish County deputies standing right there. And I'll tell you what, it was so cool. They were keeping everybody safe. Everybody was safe. Nobody was driving super fast because the vehicles are at a crawl. It's a kind of a parade. But one of the drivers in one of the cars that was going by rolled down their window and stopped and was like, hey, thank you guys so much for your service and keeping us all safe. And I'm just reminded in that moment, I was like, what a nice moment for these officers who are doing a good job, but this is their community right now.
Yeah.
That they get to be like surrounded by, and that everybody's joyous and they're looking forward to the holidays, and it's kind of, you're just having the fun, you're in it. And then to also have a moment where somebody acknowledges that's a really tough job. And just like, unfortunately, like this, Washington State Patrol trooper who lost her life, you never know. Any day you put that badge on and you go out there to do your job, that could be, you might be saying goodbye to your family for the last time. So appreciate these people. Give them a wide berth if they're on the side of the road, and thank God they do what they do.
Well said, Jake. And in a season where so many of us are trying to some degree, even check out of work or check out of our responsibilities and just kind of enjoy the rest and relaxation of the holidays, for law enforcement and troopers and officers all around the Northwest, work sometimes amps up because they have more responsibilities to keep their community safe when we get in these mass gatherings. I think of Snowflake Lane in Bellevue and so on and so forth. These are vigilant public servants that are thinking it is my duty right now to really be observant and make sure I'm protecting and serving at this time of year. So well said. Thank an officer this time of the year for keeping us all safe and being able to enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, and send them back home safely with their families as well. All right, we got to play this real fast. This is just the funniest audio. Let's switch over to a lighter topic. Do you guys remember that Coldplay incident that happened? It became... I'm really fascinated. There's a very strange thing that happens with when the internet decides that this is the most important story in the world.
You've been chosen.
Yes,
you've been chosen.
Absolutely, 100%. And you don't know heads or tails, when it's going to be decided that this is the most important story in the world. But this one was, and if companies could figure out how to market to this and could figure out how to decide what the algorithms are going to deem what's important, and they would make billions and billions of dollars. But this was at a Coldplay concert, and Chris Martin, who's the lead singer of Coldplay, does this thing where he kind of serenades the crowd, and then they have this big seeing eye that kind of goes around the stadium. You've seen this, like kiss cams, and it goes around the stadium, and then it's kind of a neat idea. The big giant screen then will zero in on a couple, and he kind of like is serenading them.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And he's singing to them, and it's Coldplay, and everybody, especially our age, everybody listened to Coldplay and probably made out to Coldplay at a certain point. So they are on a couple in Boston, I believe, and this became the Kiss Can couple that was seen around the world.
Looks like they're in a suite or something like that.
Yeah. And they're kind of sitting there, and they're both, gray-haired, and her maybe a little less than him, but definitely both of a certain age. I want to say probably 50s, 60s. And he's standing behind her, and he's got his arms around her, kind of a sweet embrace. And then they're highlighting them. But then as soon as the camera goes on them, she turns around, red-faced, embarrassed, and Chris Martin not Chris Martin, but the guy kind of ducks down. And then Chris Martin had this to say, which probably helped push this over the edge into making it, the viral video that it was.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
So he says either they're really shy or they're having an affair, and it wasn't shy. And so that became the biggest story. Do you remember just how wild this was?
Oh, I think it's the viral video of maybe the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it just got huge. And so now this woman has decided to talk. Her name is Kristen Cabot. And again, none of us knew that name before, especially since. Nobody's been talking about Kiss Cam woman, but she's now come out with this New York Times piece where it feels to me like she's trying to rebuild her public image. Now, I didn't know she had a public image. I don't think she did have a public image. I mean, I guess she's one of the most recognizable faces now is Kiss Cam woman, but she did a New York Times spread talking about how hard it has been since this happened, and ABC was diving into this. So the clips we're going to play here are an ABC reporter reading from the New York Times piece, but it's not the lady herself. But listen to this. She says, yes, it was a bad decision, what she did.
This morning, Kristen Cabot, the woman at the center of that kiss cam seen around the world, speaking out for the first time, telling the New York Times in an in-depth interview, I made a bad decision and had a couple of high noons and danced and acted inappropriately with my boss. And it's not nothing. I took accountability and I gave up my career for that.
Again, she was like the head of HR, and this guy's the head of the company. It's like the two people who you should know should not be crossing that line. And she talks about in the piece, and this is kind of the wild part to me, she talks about how the toll it has taken on her, not just her, but her teenage kids who are online, which is a whole separate conversation. Don't let your teenage kids be on social media if you care about them and love them. But this is what she said her kids are not dealing with.
Cabot says the worst of it wasn't the career fallout, but the toll on her teenage kids, who, like their mom, faced a torrent of harassment and online threats. My kids were afraid that I was going to die and that they were going to die.
Does that seem too much? Does it seem a little like overkill?
I mean, it's a vast country. There are millions of people. And so when you're a part of a video that is circulated that far and wide, yeah, I could see that maybe there were even some threats
feel like
against
the
her
walls
life.
are closing in, yeah.
But I take issue that she called this a nothing story. Now, she has said there was no sexual relationship between her and Andy Byron here, the other guy in this video. But it's not a nothing story when it destroyed two families. You know what I mean? And I don't like to see her sort of trivialize what happened here. Now, I have a different commentary on how society has reacted to it. And I think there's, almost a shameful way that we took it and ran with it and made it a joke because there's families at stake here. And there's, but have some boundaries and don't do something that's foolish enough to get involved in the relationship in the first place and then be dumb enough to be caught in this sense. I
don't know why.
I hate the story in general. I hate it.
It's a ridiculous story. I also don't know why if it's as bad as she says it was, why sit down for the New York Times piece? Why not just leave it in the past? Nobody was out there. So I didn't even know her name. I called her
No one was clamoring for her to
They're not telling me
speak
it's
out,
Cabot.
right.
I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, made it sound more French. And she's a Christine Cabot, apparently. Nobody's asking about her. So why come out with the New York Times piece? But people make
What's
funny
the
choices,
takeaway? Don't snuggle with
your boss.
A coworker that you're not married to at a Coldplay
Exactly.
concert. That's the
There you
big takeaway.
That's the takeaway. All right, we're going to play Christmas music when we get back. Greg and I are going to pick out some. You guys are texting us in. Greg, no snuggling. When we get back with me.
Never say never.
We'll be right back. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Around here, rain isn't a surprise. While others run for cover, Seahawks fans step into the storm, game day ready. And the Pro Shop is how.
Ball picked up. Witherspoon comes near side. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Every game, any weather. We got that. Shop official Seahawks gear in store at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. Claim your free panel today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jillian Raftery. Enjoy the break in the weather while you can because a strong coastal storm is expected to hit on Christmas Eve. Here's KIRO News Radio's meteorologist Ted Beener.
We're going to increase the southerly winds not only along the coast, but through the western interior. So basically from the Willamette Valley all the way up to Vancouver, BC.
Gusts could hit 40 to 60 miles an hour, but the winds should calm down by Christmas morning. There is a concern about overstressed infrastructure. Homeowners in Sumas are getting some help cleaning up after this month's devastating floods. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Samaritan's Purse is a relief organization responding to disasters all over the world. They've dispatched teams to Whatcom County to ease the burden of flood victims.
So the water level was right about here.
By removing drywall, sheetrock, insulation, and cleaning out crawl spaces.
It's really just setting up these families to be able to rebuild their homes after the disaster.
What's going through your mind as you're watching this group go through? And
this is God's blessing these people, right?
Samaritan's Purse says more work requests are coming in every day. Governor Bob Ferguson is calling up 100 members of the National Guard to watch for levee problems along the White and Green Rivers in King County. There were breaches on those levees last week. Now let's check your closing bell report. Mercedes will pay $150 million to settle lawsuits brought by every state attorney general, including Washington's. An investigation claimed more than 200,000 diesel passenger cars and vans were produced with software designed to cheat emissions regulations. Mercedes is going to pay consumers directly $2,000 per vehicle, which were sold between 2008 and 2016. Those consumers will also get a free extended warranty. Washington State will get a payout of $3 million. On Wall Street, markets are mixed. The Dow is up 0.47%, S&P 500 up 0.64%, NASDAQ up 0.52%. And we're going to check your KIRO News Radio traffic now. Nate has a good update for us.
Yes, I do, Jillian. Let's start you in South Tacoma. Our earlier collision, North 5 and South 56 has cleared. You're left with about a 3-mile backup still starting near Gradley Lake Drive. Plan on 50 minutes still from Olympia to Tacoma. Now going the other way, looking pretty good. Tacoma to Olympia, 40 minutes. You've got a 2-mile backup through JBLM and then a little crowded as you head into Olympia. Over to South Hill, there's 5 miles of stop-and-go traffic this afternoon on State Route 167 between the Mall and 176th. Over to Pacific, we've got a 3-mile backup northbound 167 heading into that bridge work zone. Tonight at 10, WashDOT will shut down that single lane that is open northbound to restripe the entire freeway. And at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're back to normal again with all 3 lanes open through Pacific through that work zone like the good old days. South 5 into Seattle still slows from Northgate into downtown. North 5, you're going to jam up approaching the West Seattle Bridge. This has eastbound West Seattle Bridge traffic jamming up at State Route 99. South 405, heavy through Factoria. And if you're heading to the airport, that expressway has been heavy all day, and we're still bumper to bumper along most of the stretch between 518 and the terminals. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. High of 48 degrees today, rain and wind. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We get a little bit of a break before, as you heard in the newscast earlier, wind and rain returns on Wednesday. 52 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
A little pitchy.
No, you sounded great. It's pretty good. Welcome back to the show. This is from Carter in Seattle. Was a suggestion. This is Wham's. This is Last Christmas. It's a classic song.
The instrumental version. Well played. Sing along if you know the words.
Sued. No, I'm not gonna sing along. I'll leave that for you, Greg, who actually has a lovely singing voice.
Oh wow!
And we just got a tiny little taste of it. I think for this segment we can play some of these songs in like short little clips. If you guys want to text in, let us know. Your list is hilarious, by the way, audience members. I've been compiling this. Again, we're kind of flying with a producer today. Ian's here, which I don't think is fair to not call him a producer, so he's doing a great job. Greg's in because Spike is out on vacation. Laura's also on vacation. Because I love you guys, I'm here, and that's all you really need anyway. So
that's your Christmas gift to the audience right there.
Merry Christmas. Some of these songs are really actually pretty obscure, and I don't even know some of these. So we're going to pull a few of these up here in just a few minutes and play them. I can tell you without a doubt that the first one on the list that I listed of songs in the best and worst is clearly a worst suggestion. It's one of the worst songs out there, and it's awful. And every year I hear it, I always just cringe and I roll my eyes and I go, "What inspired somebody to write this?" Which we will talk about in just a minute. And I think, if my memory serves, I think Dory also hated it, which is maybe why I hate it. Maybe he loved it, and my memory's wrong, but I really feel like he did not like this. This is something we used to do every year on the show. We used to look back on Christmas songs. So I thought we'd do it now, which is a ton of fun. So, Greg, what is one of the songs at Christmas time that you love?
I've got a top 3. I put a lot of thought into this today. Okay. And coming in the third spot, first runner-up, is a tune that I think is profound because of its lyrics, also because it has a beautiful melody that is indelible. And the moment you hear the first 2 notes, you kind of already recognize the song. And I particularly enjoy it as being performed by a boys' choir. And I don't mean to sound like creepy or anything, but there's something about boy sopranos when they sing Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That is not better than when female sopranos sing or anything. It's just different in its own unique way.
Can I guess what it is based on what you're saying?
Oh.
I have a guess.
So the performance I'm going to play is from King's College in the year 2017. It's got about 10 million views on YouTube. And to me, it just shouts Christmas season.
And this is a boys' choir?
Boys' choir.
So they're what, like 10?
I would say as young as
what
even
is a boy?
8.
Okay,
as
8.
young as even 8.
Is it Oh Holy Night? It's a good song.
You nailed it. First guess, with no real hint that was going to be my number 3. That's exactly right. Oh Holy Night.
Is that the title of the song?
That's the song.
I can't believe I got that. That was great.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song. It reminds me of, I think this was in Home Alone. Was this in Home Alone? Did they sing this in Home Alone?
Yes, in the church scene.
Remember, he goes to the church.
When he meets with the old guy.
You know
he,
what?
confronts
Maybe
his fears.
that's why I love it so much, because I saw Home Alone. I think I was Kevin's age.
I was Kevin's
when
age when
Home
that movie
Alone came out.
Yeah.
And so I saw myself through him, and every little part of that movie maybe it just made an impression on me that I've never forgotten.
I think a lot of the things that I love are because they were featured in Home Alone.
I don't think you're wrong.
I'm being dead serious.
I agree. Right.
Also, Jurassic Park, which is a different kind of movie.
I was
it's
in
obviously
sixth
not
grade.
It's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But that also was one of those movies that made such an impact because I was at the perfect age to be just like a little bit scared in the theater. Which also, I didn't really get that feeling from Home Alone. Home Alone was just a fun movie. Although I guess if you're scared of like people breaking into your house and trying to kill
a little scary.
That's kind of scary. But the music is very good. And that scene in particular, when he's sitting in the church and he's meeting the old man who they think is a serial killer who gets rid of the bodies and turns them into
And I think it
zombies.
is a boys' choir that's performing that song.
Although it's a girl in there too, because the guy's talking about his granddaughter.
Got it.
But I don't know. People
All
are
right,
crazy these
so
days.
that's my number 3. Number 2.
Oh, you got more.
It might not be one of my favorite songs, but it's one of my favorite arrangements of a Christmas song. This is Bing Crosby's "Do You Hear What I Hear?"
Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear?
Isn't that harmony just magical? And then when they go to the minor chord on the bridge right here, it always gets me, this minor chord.
A song high above the tree.
Is it a boys' choir coming?
With a voice
No, I don't think so.
It would be better if it was.
Isn't that such
nice.
a great rendition of that tune? And you know what gets me is the harmony after he says, "Do you hear what I hear?" And one voice goes, "Do you hear what I hear?" And the other harmony goes, "Do you hear what I hear?"
Oh, yeah.
So you got one ascending and one
responding to
descending,
each other.
and it creates some kind of magical, mystical, evocative thing for me.
And you're also got Bing Crosby, who's got the best singing voice ever. He's one of the top guys. Do you want to know a fun fact about Bing Crosby?
Yes,
Guess
please.
who's related to him?
Someone in the Spokane area, I assume.
My kids. I'm not. It's through my wife's family. It's like my wife's mom's cousin or something.
Really?
But that means that my kids also are related to Bing Crosby. I don't think they get any piece of the Bing Crosby fortune. I don't think they get any of that. But he's a very talented guy. I haven't seen any of that come through with my own kids musically, but it's possible that maybe there's a late blooming singer in my family that we just haven't discovered yet. Do you have a number 1?
I've got a number 1. Are you ready for the big reveal right now?
Yes. And this is your favorite Christmas song of all time?
Favorite Christmas song of all time for 2 reasons. One is my church sings it every year on Christmas Eve. We have a candlelight service. The lights go out. We're all holding real candles, and we sing this song a cappella. It never fails, brings me to tears every single year on Christmas Eve.
Can I guess what it is?
Hold on. Let me give you the second reason, and that is this is a song, the only Christmas song that I'm aware of that I know ended a war for a moment in time, for at least 24 hours.
Wow.
And it happened on the Western Front, Christmas Eve, 1914. The Allied forces and the Germans put down their weapons for a day, and part of that occurrence included singing this Christmas carol together.
They sang it across the lines.
They stopped one of the most bloody wars in history.
They're in the trenches.
And it was this song that was the impetus for ending that war just for a few hours.
And you sing this in your church with candles.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And in a crazy way, I sort of feel connected
to those
people back in 1914. And not only that, this song was written over 200 years ago.
What?
So I feel connected to the 18th century and so on and so forth. Please do.
Is it Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer?
Well played.
Is it?
Well played. It's not Grandma Got Run Over.
It's got to be Silent Night.
But that was very funny.
It's got to be Silent Night.
Oh,
that's perfect.
I don't know what it is.
All right.
The original translation was Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. It's a German song.
Oh, I know that. I took German. Yeah, I know it.
But if you're not aware of the story, look up the 1914 Christmas Eve truce. It's quite a tale.
It is a tale. We have more tales to tell when we come back. We're going to be right back. Stick around.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hurry, time's running out. Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in store.
Brent Wilcox of Wilcox Family Farms.
Family. That's what this time of year is all about, and has been for generations. Over the past 100 years, many of you have invited Wilcox Family Farms to your table. And for this, we're thankful. You're the reason that my family continues to take great care of the land, as well as the hens that provide us with the freshest, best tasting organic eggs on any table. From Wilcox Family Farms, happy holidays.
Welcome back to the show. All right, we're doing best and worst Christmas songs. What do people love? We have a ton of suggestions from you folks. You have texted in. Thank you so much. I can't even get to all these. We have Goodfellas. We have Quetzal Pretzel. We have Grandpa and Concrete. All these different people who are making suggestions. We will try to get to as many as we can, but the truth is we're only going to probably have time to get to three of them. So I have pulled from the giant list of suggestions, which are great, by the way. 3 that caught my eye, 2 because I know that they're awful, and 1 because I've never heard it before. And I feel like a Christmas music connoisseur. I feel like I do know all these songs. Let's start with the connoisseur one. I did not ever hear this song before. Have you ever heard of this, Greg? 425 says one of my favorite Christmas songs is called Rusty Chevrolet by Ya Doopers. Is that, Ian, is that right? Ya
I
Doopers?
think it's Da Yoopers, like people from Michigan.
Da Yoopers?
People from the UP, the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, they call themselves Yoopers.
Oh, this must be like a talk-to-text mistranslation. All right. But is there a song called Rusty Chevrolet?
I found a song on YouTube called Rusty Chevrolet.
It sounds like a drink you'd get at your local pub.
It does, yeah. And it's a Christmas song?
Make it a double.
I believe so. There's snow in this video.
All right,
we'll
let's
find
try
out.
Sounds like a
Dashing through the snow in my rusty Chevrolet. Down the road I go, sliding all the way. I need new piston rings. I need some new snow tires. My car is held together by a piece of chicken wire. Oh, rust and smoke, the heater's broke, the door just flew away. I light a match.
Sounds like he's just describing an old car.
I start to pray.
A lot of visuals of a car on fire, sliding down an icy road.
What fun it is to drive this rusty Chevrolet.
Thank you, 425. It's a very interesting song. I don't know if I would put this on my classic lists.
The melody rings a bell.
It does. I don't know where it's from, but if you guys want to let me know. All right, this one I have to highlight. Amy I don't know where Amy's from. She just lists herself as Amy. She says, I hate that Christmas in the Northwest song. It's corny and it's awful. Can we hear a little bit of that, Ian? Amy's spot on, by the way.
I'm feeling it, actually.
Do you like this song?
I feel some merriment.
There's a beautiful river in this music video. It's like a babbling brook.
You guys hate this song.
Extended intro? Yes, please.
Can we stretch this out for 20 more seconds before they get to singing?
Tell me more.
Listen to that voice. It's an angel. As I'm listening to this, I'm imagining what I would hate the most is if I found myself in a beautiful place like Benaroya Hall at a concert and they were singing this song. I would think to myself, I've made poor life decisions that led me here. I'm sitting in an audience. I paid. I don't want to take.
I'm into it.
I don't want to take anything away from this artist.
I just think it needs to be
awful.
It needs to be updated.
No.
2025 Christmas in the Northwest.
It's going to be all like
cyclones, atmospheric rivers, make a person shiver.
Random city attacks. Watch your back in the Northwest.
It just needs some refreshing. I like it.
No, this needs to go away. Absolutely, it needs to go away. But people listen to it every year, so good for them. This is another song. This is not a Northwest-centric song. At least I don't know it is. I just assume this is universally hated everywhere. There's a song. This is from 360. They said the best and worst Christmas song. How does that work? The best and worst Christmas song is Christmas Shoes. Have you guys heard Christmas Shoes? You've heard Christmas Shoes.
Refresh my memory.
I've never heard of this song.
You guys don't know Christmas Shoes? All right, play this.
There I stood in another line.
This is so funny. I mean, it's awful.
That last gift or two. Not really in the Christmas mood.
It's a little breathy.
It's quite
standing right in front of me.
Listen to this. Turn this up.
Little boy waiting anxiously, pacing round.
Rob Lowe is in the music video?
Is he?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe this is like from a movie.
Pair of shoes.
Okay, so the little boy is buying a pair of shoes, and he doesn't have the money. His clothes were worn and torn. Doesn't have the money for it. So this guy behind him is like, I want to help you buy these shoes. The little boy, who those shoes are for?
All right.
For his mom.
It's beautiful.
Who's about to die.
Oh.
And he wants to give her some shoes to wear when she goes to meet Jesus.
Sir, I wanna buy these shoes.
Turn this up.
For my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size.
She's about an 8.5.
Hurry, sir. Daddy says there's not much time.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, that is sad.
She's been sick for quite a while, and I know these shoes will make her smile, and one or two look beautiful if Mama meets Jesus tonight.
Wow.
Tonight.
That does take a bit of a dark twist there.
It's just needlessly sad.
I
I'm
had
not
not
saying that
heard
sad
that.
things don't happen, but like, come on, Christmas shoes. It's just the saddest. A sad little boy who can't buy
I
shoes
like
for
the
his
effort.
mom.
I like the effort.
Why?
I don't want to begrudge them the effort.
Ian, you don't like this, do you?
That was pretty. That was a downer.
It's too much. It's a downer.
I usually like sad things though. Like
You're a
if you
person
can
who likes to cry?
encapsulate the joyous part of life and simultaneously the sad and put them together, usually that formula works
What's
for me.
the writing process behind a song like this? So, like somebody sits down and he goes, "I want to write a Christmas classic." He's like, we already got Rudolph. That's already taken. We already got like Frosty the Snowman. That's already taken. I've got it. What about a little boy who's buying shoes for his mother who's about to die so she can dance with Jesus and put a smile on her face?
The dance with Jesus is the hopeful part.
That's a nice thing. I get it. That's a really nice thing, but it's just the saddest song imaginable. Oh, geez. And then Christmas in the Northwest, that seems like an assault right before we go.
Jesus likes Adidas, but you bought her Nikes.
It's just a very sad, it's a needlessly sad song. I'm not saying that sad things don't happen. We just don't need to like.
But if you love it, we love you, dear
Let's end on
listener.
this. This is a much better Christmas song. By the way, do you know how much money she makes every year on this song?
It's like $1 million a
It's
year,
like
right?
a couple $1 million every single year. She recorded it like 35 years ago or something crazy. Every single year. Wild. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We got another fantastic hour. You're not going to want to miss a second. Greg Tomlin's with us. We'll be right back.
That was fun.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump is making an announcement shortly with his top national security officials as questions mount over his actions against Venezuela. Olivia Rinaldi reports the Coast Guard was pursuing another oil tanker off Venezuela.
In a statement to CBS News, an administration official said the U.S. Coast Guard is in active pursuit of a sanctioned dark fleet vessel that is part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. They say that this ship is flying under a false flag and is under a judicial seizure order. We do not have word, though, yet if this particular vessel has been seized.
Lawmakers are stewing over the partial release of the Jeffrey Epstein files and all the redactions. CBS's Scott McFarlane has more.
And it's a bipartisan dynamic, just like it was a bipartisan bill that forced the Epstein files to be released. You're hearing from Republicans and Democrats who say they wanted more out there. They'll consider some type of contempt finding against the U.S. Attorney General. And the word impeachment's been thrown around, articles of impeachment against some federal officials. That really is just political rhetoric, but it's telling that that's the political rhetoric 3 days after the first release of Epstein files. This remains a brush fire that the administration has not and maybe cannot contain.
Lawyers for former CIA Director John Brennan want the Justice Department to be prevented from steering an investigation of him and other former government officials to what they called a favored judge in Florida who dismissed the classified documents case against the president. Millions of Americans are traveling today ahead of Christmas. Marla Diamond reports from the New Jersey Turnpike.
8 million will take to the skies, but according to AAA, 110 million will drive.
We're leaving New York City for the first time ever, visiting there for Christmas holiday, and we're from North Carolina.
I'm from Florida, actually. I came up to visit for Christmas.
AAA says the best time to travel pre-Christmas and the day after is any time before 10 a.m.
A woman who was once the oldest National Park Service ranger has died at the age of 104. Stacy Lynn reports.
Betty Reed Soskin became a park ranger when she was 84 and worked at the Rosie the Riveter National Historical Park in Richmond, California. And while she officially retired 4 years ago, she had told CBS News,
"I'm still working. I don't know if I'll ever really retire."
The National Park Service posted on social media, "Thank you for your service, Ranger Betty."
The Chiefs have announced their intent to leave their Missouri home of 50-plus years at Arrowhead Stadium and relocate to Kansas. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
A big update for drivers who drive on Highway 167. All lanes will reopen tomorrow morning. Let's go right to Nate Connors for that update.
Yes, Jillian. Yeah, this is great news for our travelers on the Valley Freeway. Tomorrow, 5 a.m., all those northbound lanes will reopen at our Pacific Bridge site ahead of schedule, actually. But before that, at 10 o'clock tonight, WashDOT will shut down that single lane so crews can restripe the freeway. Right now, we're still down to one lane with a 2-mile backup. Plan on 15 minutes to clear this. Here in Seattle, South 5, you're slow from Northgate in the downtown. South 5 at the Collector Distributor, we have a collision on the left shoulder right at the off-ramp to I-90. This has caused a backup on the Collector Distributor. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. South 405, you're heavy from Southeast 8th and Bellevue down to 112th. Bellevue to Renton, a 20-minute trip. If you're heading to the airport, the expressway is bumper to bumper along most of the stretch between 518 and the terminals. Plan on an extra 10 minutes to your commute to get through this. Federal Way to Seattle has a 10-minute delay. We're slow from the Fife curve to State Route 18 and again along South Center from an earlier crash. And then as you enter Seattle, you'll jam up at the West Seattle Bridge. Over in South Hill, you've got 5 miles of stop-and-go traffic this afternoon between the mall and 176th. Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support. An afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration. Get your tickets now for January 31st at nwhopeandhealing.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Jillian Raftery. A high-profile Western Washington ICE detainee is being ordered set free. Let's go to KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch for the latest.
A Pakistani native and U.S. Army veteran who was taken into ICE custody at a citizenship interview in Tukwila is being released. That's according to the Muslim advocacy group CARE. The Department of Homeland Security has referred to Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury as an illegal criminal alien, but CARE says a federal judge Monday ordered that he be set free from the ICE processing center in Tacoma, where he's been held since August 21st. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Investigators are searching for a second vehicle involved in the death of State Trooper Tara Marissa Guting on Friday. 4 other troopers were also injured on duty last week. Trooper Rick Johnson says patrolling the roadways comes with serious risks.
Not all of these are you can equate to impaired driving. It really comes down to inattention too. So, and speed. So just, that's why the move over, slow down law was put into place to try to give us that buffer of protection.
Slow down, give at least a lane of space if you see any emergency vehicles stopped on roads or shoulders. And Trooper Guting's patrol car has been made into a public memorial for anyone who wants to pay their respects. It's sitting outside the District 1 office on 112th Street in Tacoma. A close call on I-90 this morning as state troopers stopped a minivan with a block of icy snow at least a foot high stuck to the top. If it slipped off, they say it could have done serious damage to another car. Remember, drivers are legally obligated to clear snow and ice from the whole car before getting on the road. King County Public Health is investigating an E. coli outbreak linked to a restaurant in Bellevue. 5 people got sick, 4 were hospitalized. All of them ate at Tokyo Teriyaki Stop between November 24th and 25th. This particular strain of E. coli can cause Shiga toxin and lead to nausea, vomiting, and bloody diarrhea. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers move in over the next hour or so. Overnight lows in the high 30s. Mostly cloudy Tuesday. Highs in the mid-40s. It's 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one fantastic hour to go. Greg, it's been a fun show so far.
Thanks for having me in, Jake. Always a pleasure to sit in for you or Spike. And I'll start off this hour with a little bit of gratitude in this Christmas season. It's all about peace and goodwill and kind words, right? So just always a privilege and a pleasure to sit in on KIRO Radio, but especially for the Jake and Spike Show.
We love having you here. You fit like a glove. It's perfect.
Thank you, brother.
All right, speaking of peace and goodwill, this is the opposite of that story. I do feel like we want to cover this more than once because I do think it's important for people to hear this story. We did this at the start of the show. This is the very first thing we talked about today because I think it is one of the most important stories that we can focus on, even though it's so horrible. So bear with us for a few minutes, and then we will get back to some lighter stuff just to cleanse the palate. But there was a homeless attack that happened on a totally innocent bystander, a 75-year-old woman in Seattle. She had no clue what was coming. And I believe that this happened, was this earlier in the month? Is that when this was? They're not specific about the day here in the story, but I believe this was downtown Seattle earlier in the month. This is right outside King County Courthouse. And you have a 75-year-old woman who was just in the area picking up food like anybody might. You order food from a restaurant. You're thinking, hey, you know what? Let's get some takeout. Let's take it home. Enjoy some time doing whatever. And she's standing there at the street corner, and the video is absolutely atrocious. It is nightmare fuel. It's the exact reason why, and I say this a lot, and I get text messages every time I say this, and they go, oh, you're just being horrible to Seattle. This is why I think twice before I choose to spend my free time and my dollars. Do I want to do it in a place where I have to look over my shoulder, like downtown Seattle is in some areas, and that's not even a debate. That's just, there are areas of Seattle where you don't want to go. Or do I want to go somewhere, like let's say my wife and I are going on a date, and we want to go out and have some fun. We got a babysitter for the kids. We got whatever we're doing, and we're going to go to the big city because we're country folk. We're going to come into the big city. Usually that's probably like on the east side somewhere. We're going to usually stay in our little small town like where we live, but a lot of times we'll go like, hey, you know what? Let's dress it up. Let's go have some fun. Usually we'll end up going to Bellevue. Parking's easier, and we don't have to worry about crazy things like this happening. But let me play you a little bit of this audio. Jeremy Harris over at KOMO News, he got the video footage, and he's going to describe it. And in the KOMO package that they put together on this, he doesn't even show the moment because it's too horrific, and nobody needs to see that. But you do understand what happened. And so let me play you a little bit of this. And great reporting from Jeremy Harris, by the way, over at KOMO.
It's just before noon on December 5th outside the King County Courthouse in Seattle. That's 75-year-old Jeanette Markin standing on the corner, and police say this is Fali Pea walking up with a stick in his hand when out of nowhere he attacks her. Jeanette is knocked to the ground. Bystanders take a picture of the suspect, then rush to help Jeanette.
So let me just set the scene a little bit more for anybody who hasn't seen the video. This woman is standing at the street corner. There's a guy down the way, looks like a homeless guy, just like looks like a guy on the side of the street. He's pulling some sort of a cart with him, which has some stuff. And he also has in his hand a large stick, which looks more like something you'd see out of The Walking Dead. I mean, like, no joke. It looks it's got nails sticking through it.
Screws, yeah.
It's got a large bolt and a screw sticking out of it. I mean, the kind of damage that it looks like it's meant to cause harm. It looks like, if you watch the show The Walking Dead,
I know it well enough.
You know it,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. It looks like one of the things that you would use to fight off zombies. It's a comic book looking, horrific tool of danger. So this guy's holding this, and he's walking around the street, and he spies this woman. And this is, it's a video, so do I have to say allegedly? But I guess because the case against, well, say allegedly. This guy spots this woman standing on the street corner, and he starts walking towards her with this stick. And what's horrible when you're watching this is you know what's coming, and you're still watching it. And what's horrible also is this poor woman standing at the street corner. She also, you can see, is aware of this guy's presence, but she's waiting lawfully to cross the street at a four-way stop where she needs to get to. Jeanette Markin, 75 years old. She's just waiting. And this guy saunters up behind her. And he's got his eye on her. But again, it's behind her, so and she's 75. So what else is she going to do? She's going to turn around and confront the guy? No, she's doing what we all try to do in these situations, which is maybe if you ignore it, the bad thing will go away. And he then rears up and he pulls his stick back like he's swinging at a fastball and brings it around on her, and he gets her, and it is horrific. It gouges out her eye. She's now going to be blind in that side of her eye. She said had to have emergency surgery as a result. This is a horrific thing. And when they go and arrest this guy, listen to the body cam footage from the SPD officers who know this guy by name before they even have to tell him who it is, because this is the area where he frequents. Listen how they already know who he is.
Who is this guy? Is he?
He's a regular. He usually punches. I guess today he decided to escalate things way worse than his usual.
Where is he usually?
He's usually just up and down third.
As paramedics race her to the hospital, it becomes obvious police know Folly Pea well.
Do you have the suspect's ID?
Yeah, suspect's ID. He's being searched right now. Yeah. You know him?
Oh, he's notorious for random assaults on 3rd Street.
He's notorious for random assaults. What do you think about this?
Isn't that the key phrase? Describing this person who allegedly committed this assault as notorious. You don't become notorious through a singular act. I mean, you can. Something can be so horrific, right? But typically, when you become notorious, it means you've done something awful or evil for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And boy, doesn't that describe this case perfectly. I mean, this person was arrested over 10 years ago for stabbing people at a party and got a slap on the wrist, has had multiple offenses after that. This type of case is all too common, especially in the Seattle area where we treat hardened criminals with kid gloves. And you can't help but personalize and internalize a story like this, because crimes that are committed that kind of make sense to us are in terms of, oh, a robbery went wrong and the wannabe thief got hurt. And we say, yeah, they had it coming. Or a drug deal goes bad and there's a shooting and we say, yeah, don't get involved in drugs. You're going to get shot. When you're just standing there innocently on a sidewalk in a major American city.
The crime of ordering takeout food.
And someone comes up and slams a piece of wood with a screw in it into your eye. You're going to, you permanently lose a sight for the rest of your life. This is why a lot of people swear off ever coming to Seattle. And whether that perception meets reality or not, the perception is very real. I went to Seattle just a few days ago to go to a play at Taproot Theater. I had members of my extended family that said we won't go to Seattle. And typically I'm the kind of guy that likes to allay fears and say, no, it's not as bad as you think. And there's data and there's anecdotes.
You might caveat it and say, well, that's not a bad area. Like, you know, there's bad areas, but you go, that's not too bad of an area. You should be fine.
Correct. And I'm always trying to get people to come back to the city because I want Seattle to thrive. We're the Emerald City. I want us to flourish. But all too frequently we read about stories like this, Jake, and I didn't have the courage to watch the video. The description was enough for me. But this is also a testament to me as to the warranted nature of some of these cameras that are put up all across cities, because you're able to catch the criminals in the act a lot easier. And this video is taken from, it looks like, across the street. And thank God it was there, because they've got the hard evidence that will probably lead to a conviction for this person. Let's hope and pray that it's a long conviction to where he can never do this again.
It's interesting, though, because I don't know that that's the case. Because this guy it's not like this guy didn't have it. It's not like you said, he's notorious not because this is his first incident, the thing that he's first committed. Listen to this background. Jeremy Harris Como dives into his background.
Court records show Pea had multiple prior convictions for assault, including stabbing someone 8 times at a party.
Like, I'm pleased that they have this footage. I'm not pleased to watch it, but I'm pleased that they have it if it aids in keeping the guy off the street. But they already have the background stuff that they say that he's already done, and they have not kept him off the street. In fact, he's so well known that the officers don't even have to be told his name. They just say, oh, is that the guy? And they know his name, which is horrifying. Awful.
You stab someone 8 times. Thanks for playing. Good night. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Listen to the son of the victim. Talk about his mom, where she's at right now, the surgeries that she's had, the sight that is gone now, and his just completely, he's completely perplexed why the city would allow this guy who they say is notorious for these types of assaults. That's what they say in the video. The police say, oh, yeah, no, he usually does this. I guess he stepped it up. Why allow this guy on the street if he's dangerous?
And it's not her responsibility to know like what parts are good, what parts are like she cannot walk there.
Andreas Verikis is Jeanette Markham's son.
How's your mother doing?
Right now, she's out of the second surgery.
After several surgeries, she's been told she won't recover sight in her eye and may need even more reconstructive surgeries.
To take like a wood club with nails and just, no, I'm gonna hit her with all the force on her face, is like, that's not someone you can recover or help. I don't understand that.
I'm going to play his last cut here, and then we should move on to something lighter because this is just such a dark topic. But I think he asked the perfect question at the end here of the city of Seattle.
I want someone to at least say to my mom, hey, we're working on this. We're trying to fix this. Like, I know, yeah, he's unusual. Like, usual what? Attacking people? Civilians? Like, what the hell is wrong with your system?
What the hell is wrong with your system? I mean, that is exactly, he sums it up perfectly. And this is somebody whose mom has now lost her sight and easily could have lost her life. I mean, in a way, she's very fortunate that she only lost her eyesight. That guy did a horrible thing. That attack was a horrible thing, I should say, allegedly, I guess, until they convict the guy. But that is a horrible attack. And if the city continues to let people like this on the streets, then you can't expect law-abiding citizens to want to have any part of Seattle going forward. And the question now is, will the new mayor-elect, who has said that she doesn't want to clear homeless encampments, doesn't want to deal with issues like this, is the city going to get better? And I think time will tell.
It's dubious to think that incoming mayor-elect Katie Wilson will improve this issue of repeat offenders being treated with kid gloves. It pains me to say that.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be even a softer stance taken towards crime the next 4 years.
Ugh. Just be careful, you guys. I
hope I'm wrong.
And you know what? Honestly, this is a good reminder, too. If you see something that you think is suspicious or if you feel uncomfortable, if you get those spidey senses tingling, don't worry about offending somebody.
Judge a book by its cover.
By stepping across the street if you feel like you need to.
Yes.
Good golly. I never worried about this stuff. I have been working in Seattle, and I love the city. Like you said, I want the city to thrive. I want it to do well. I have been working or living in Seattle since I was 16 years old. My very first job that I got in Seattle when I was 16, I was a ball boy for the Sonics. Like a dream job. It's fantastic. I was in high school. I lived up in Snohomish County. After high school, I would drive down after school so I could get to the Sonics game early and rebound and all this stuff. I used to park in very city areas, and I never once, as a young 16-year-old, ever once worried about being attacked in a crazy random way like this. Would I let my own son is 10 years old. He's going to be that age in 6 years. Would I let him just randomly drive down on late nights, leaving Key Arena, what was Key Arena, now Climate Pledge, leaving Key Arena at 16 years old, sometimes at 11:30 at night, walking back to his car? My parents never had to worry about that. Like, that's how much the city has changed just in the last 20-something years. I would not feel comfortable with my son doing that. And they need to get on this problem. All right. Should we shift over to something happier? Last few minutes of the segment.
Pivot.
Let's pivot. Hard pivot. Let's talk about Christmas shopping. How about that? We got, 3 days? December 22nd, we got 3 days till the big day. You can't shop on Christmas Day, so you really only have 2 days left to do any shopping that might be still on your list.
Full confession, yeah, I was on the interwebs last night thinking, if I order this online right now, will it get to me in time? And so a little bit of panic is setting in because I have found my Christmas list, my Christmas shopping list has grown exponentially over the years, Jake. I don't know about you. The older I get, it feels like I need to buy presents for more people. So I have my wife, my 3 kids, my parents now. I want to get them a good gift. Extended family, we do like a name draw. Teachers now is a big thing. And do they want cash? Do they want a gift? What do they want? I don't know.
Gift cards.
And then sometimes there are just some people in your life, a friend who maybe you want to let them know you're thinking about get them a gift. I mean, that's 7 or 8 gifts that I personally need to buy. Is that first world problem?
We would call this a mixed blessing. It's wonderful that you have this problem,
right?
That you have so many people that you love that you want to, think of in this time of year. Here's an idea for you. You sent the story. It's actually a really interesting one. GMA had this, and it's about. Have you ever heard of Thriftsmas? I had never heard of this.
Is that a lisp?
Yeah, Thriftsmas. It sounds like that little girl from Miracle on 34th Street.
Adorable.
I wonder what she sounds like now. Probably not the same. All right, so GMA had this, and this is apparently something influencers are pushing. And
it's a big TikTok trend this year, Thriftmas 2025.
Let's hear them explain it.
Somebody said something about Thriftmas, and I was like, oh, that's a cool word. I could totally do it. 12 days of Thriftmas. What I did for my Thriftmas was I turned thrifted gifts and made them not look cheap by washing them up, cleaning them up, putting them in a beautiful basket, staging them all together. It gave people a new idea of how to turn something thrifted to where it doesn't just look like you pulled it out of the attic and dusted it off.
I feel like she shouldn't get a ton of credit for washing something she bought at the thrift store. That's kind of like, that's level one. I assume that everybody who's buying a gift at a thrift store, they're not just tossing it in a bag and immediately putting it under the tree. So what she's doing in the video is she's buying some steins, like beer steins, and then she washes them up, and then she made a cool little basket, like a little gift basket with some beer and the steins so somebody can drink or whatever. Good idea. Is this something that you would participate in, Thriftmas?
Absolutely, without question. 20 years ago, perhaps not, but I've sort of thought about this a little differently as years have gone by. How do you feel about giving used gifts for Christmas? So like a used CD. Would you go to Half Price Books or any place where you could buy used CDs and give them to someone in your family, not wrapped, not new, not anything? It's been used clearly when they open up the wrapping.
Sure.
And maybe there's socioeconomic implications to that, but I feel like previously I had this notion that a gift I had to give had to be brand new.
Sure.
If you kept the price tag on it by mistake, in air quotes, even better, right?
So you can see how much you love them.
See how much you spent. But nowadays, I think more and more, like if my kids want a toy, I've been just kind of waking up to this notion of waste a lot more as I get older.
Sure.
And I'm like, if I go down to the local toy shop that has used toys, and even if the box has been opened, if that's the toy they want, great. I get it half price. They're going to enjoy it just the same.
Yeah.
There's not some special quality of, oh, this has never been touched by human hands before.
We just took the boys. I have 4 boys who are fairly young, 10, 8, 6, and 1. And so they're just getting into the experience now of being able to pick out gifts on their own for their brothers and, cousins and fun stuff. And so we took them to Half Price Books the other day, and they'd never been to Half Price Books. At least they didn't remember it. And it was so much fun. You're walking around and you find a book you might like, I mean, the great thing about Half Price Books is often books are pretty much brand new. Like people are not reading books a lot these days. So you can get really great deals and they're like 50% off or whatever the thing might be. And then you're leaving with something really cool. We really like buying books.
Yeah.
You mentioned CDs a second ago, though.
My daughter's really into CDs. She's Gen Z, and CDs and records are like her thing.
They're making a comeback.
Big time.
Why is that? Why are they making a comeback?
I don't know, but it's not lost on me that my daughter has Beatles records, Bob Dylan records, but also like Wicked soundtrack records.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's not just like the old stuff, it's the new too. And I don't know if it's because like a rose-colored glasses view of like 40, 50 years ago. I think that's a common temptation for whatever generation it is going through at any given time, is like things used to be better. And there's some kind of romance around getting out the vinyl, putting the record needle down and saying like, we're back to our roots or the origins of this.
It's almost like listening to a CD or a record is now kind of like an artisanal thing versus just hitting a button on a computer. You're never seeing anything. You're never having any physical interaction with it. And I think you're totally right. That's what they're doing. All right, Charlie Harger is going to join us next. He's going to come in studio, so we will be right back with him. Hang out.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, "It's not fair that you're sleeping."
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Donald Trump announces plans to build a new class of warship as a part of what he's calling the Golden Fleet. He says they'll be the biggest ever with more lethality than ever before.
There's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time.
The administration says the goal is to beef up the United States shipbuilding supply chain. The Justice Department is facing continued backlash over its partial releases of files related to late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, with lawmakers and survivors alike denouncing the limited scope of the disclosures. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the files will be released on a rolling basis over the coming weeks due to the volume of materials and the need to shield the personal information of survivors. Christmas Eve could turn blustery across western Washington. KIRO News Radio meteorologist Ted Biener tells us what the computer models show so far.
That low hugging the Washington coast and moving up into Vancouver Island.
in the evening hours of Christmas Eve.
We'll keep an eye on how those models develop. Right now, it looks like wind gusts could reach 40 to 60 miles per hour from Portland to Washington or Vancouver, BC. Ski season with all of that weather, ski season has finally arrived. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay has that update.
More than 22 inches of snow have fallen at the summit at Snoqualmie, so opening day there will be Tuesday, but expect limited terrain and just 2 lifts for now, Pacific Crest and the Upper Carpet. Crystal Mountain and White Pass and Mission Ridge, they're all open, but Stevens Pass has yet to start its season. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
An update on Wall Street.
The Santa rally appears to be taking hold as the market rallied higher for the third consecutive session, once again getting help from popular AI names like NVIDIA and Oracle. Google parent Alphabet acquired data center and energy infrastructure company Intersect to help its AI data center expansion plans. The Dow surged higher by 227 points to 48,362. The Nasdaq gained 121 points to 23,428, and the S&P gained 44 points to 6878. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
Now let's go to Nate Connors and check on your drive.
Thanks, Jillian. Seattle Sports has our update. South 5 heading into Seattle. You're slow from Northgate into downtown. To be expected. Linwood to Seattle up to a half hour. North 5, you're heavy approaching the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Southbound 405 slows now from South Bellevue near Southeast 8th all the way down to the Renton Landing. Now you're close to freeway speeds through most of this, so Bellevue to Renton not doing too bad at 25 minutes. Both directions of I-5, you're slow along South Center. In Fife North 5s, you're slow from the Fife curve up to State Route 18. Federal Way to Seattle right now is a half-hour drive. Both directions of State Route 167, you're slow between Algona and Sumner, heavier northbound through the Pacific Work Zone. And if you're heading out toward Bonnie Lake this afternoon, eastbound 410 is packed from 166 there at the bottom of the hill all the way in the downtown Bonnie Lake. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today, up to a quarter inch expected. Break tomorrow with clouds and highs in the mid-40s. It's 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. I am very, very excited. We don't normally get this guy on so late in the show, but he's a peach and he stayed around. And he said, I'll hang out with you guys and come on. Charlie Harker joins us now from Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, great to be here. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, we're, what are we at, 3 days away?
Yep.
We all have fairly young kids still in the house, and my kids every single day, they wake up and I think your kids are slightly older than mine.
Yeah, 2 teenagers.
2 teenagers. Okay. Yeah, mine are still very small. A handful. They're still to the age where they run into my room and jump on the bed and let me know how many days before Christmas.
Yeah.
And your teenagers, probably you have to wake from sleep and yell at them many times to wake
Definitely
from sleep.
the 17-year-old, yeah, for sure. But the 13-year-old's still very excited about the gifts. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
There's a countdown.
Are you guys already wrapped on everything?
Literally and figuratively?
Yes.
Yeah, I spent a couple hours on Saturday wrapping gifts. I'm not great at it, but was able to get that done. And a lot of work, but yeah, we're ready to go, knock on wood.
How about yourself, Greg? You good to go?
80% wrapped to this point, but my wife and I like to save a few presents for Christmas Eve. One of our traditions is we put on It's a Wonderful Life and finish the wrapping together before. So you got to reserve a few presents for the 11th hour.
That was our last night. That's what we did last night. The kids went to bed. After dinner, we made sure that they couldn't find us, and we sat down. We watched It's a Wonderful Life and wrapped gifts. Man, that movie's fantastic. I literally, there's parts of that movie where I had to stop wrapping, even though I've seen it countless times.
Yep.
I had to stop wrapping because I wanted the full experience of that movie to wash over me. It's almost like a cleansing, healing thing to go through that experience with George Bailey. I just mentally, I wanted to be in that space, and I didn't want to be distracted by making sure I had a gift wrapped correctly or something. And I wanted to, so that by the time we get to the end of the movie where his brother comes home and says to the richest man in, what town's he from again? That's not Pottersville.
Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls. To the richest man in Bedford Falls. As soon as he says that line, I lose it.
The waterworks.
The waterworks. It's at that point that I just lose it. Do you guys have something similar?
Yeah. At what point, though, does he knock Hans Gruber off of Nakatomi Tower?
Well, okay. So that was the other movie I told my wife we
these
should
are not
watch.
the same movie.
These are not the same movie.
Okay.
Very similar plots.
Right.
Very similar plots. Not quite. But that movie just holds up, and it's such a beautiful, wonderful movie, and I think it actually kind of fits into why Charlie's here. Yeah. You wrote an article about like making sure that your mental health in the middle of the holidays, which can get hectic and can get really crazy, that you're keeping up on that and kind of taking care of yourself. For me, it's to make sure that I watch It's a Wonderful Life once a year to recharge my batteries for mankind.
I think we all do. And the column on mynorthwest.com today is really about how yesterday was the winter solstice. That is truly the darkest day of the year. We have the fewest hours of daylight on that day. And today is the day, and for the next 6 months, that increasingly every day that darkness gives way to more and more light.
It's a good thought.
It is a good thought, and it really is a message I think a lot of the religions have. You know, that's Hanukkah, where we're bringing light into a dark world. Same kind of symbolism with Christmas. But what I really want people to hear and know is that if you're in a dark place right now, I get to think of the privilege you and I have, Jake and Greg, where we are on the radio, right? And people are on the other end hearing us. And I took this morning as an opportunity to say, this is your sign. You know, a lot of people, they're listening. They're maybe in a desperate moment in their lives. They're looking for a sign that their lives are going to get better, that the darkness will give way to the light. And so I wanted to say that. And that is, if you've been waiting for a sign that things are going to be better, this is your sign. This is me saying it. You've been looking for a sign. You might have thought that it might have come through in any other form, but this is the guy on the other end of the radio telling you, this is your sign, that light is going to come, and the darkness, whatever you're experiencing, will get better.
Charlie, thanks so much for writing this piece up at mynorthwest.com. The holidays can be dangerous for mental health. Really thought it was profound in many ways. I appreciate the optimism, the hope, and the goodwill that kind of runs through it. I also appreciate the shout out to the book of Ecclesiastes. And not only is the reference to a great song by the Byrds, but one of my favorite books of the Bible actually is Ecclesiastes. And I want you to, for a moment, if you can, expand on this notion of prioritizing yourself this holidays. What do you mean specifically by that in terms of how it relates to mental health?
I think we all need to think about getting through the day. And I bring up in the article, and we're all in this age range. I know 3 guys over the past year and a half who kind of gave into the darkness. Mm-hmm. And I think we probably all know at least one person. And that's what the difficult thing is because you get so trapped in thinking, this is it. This is not going to get any better. This is, it's the darkness talking to you. And the darkness is very good at sounding like your own voice. You'll hear it and you'll think, man, my life is not going to get better. These arguments are not going to get any better. You look at this world around you, you're sucked into social media, you're sucked into cable news, and there's so much division and rancor. But if you step out and you breathe clean air, you make direct eye contact with people and actually talk to people, that is something that is so good for your soul, so good for your mental health. You got to be willing to do it.
It's interesting that you brought this up because I wasn't even thinking. I mean, as we were getting ready to have you on, thinking about your article, I wasn't really even thinking about the "It's a Wonderful Life" reference. That just kind of happened naturally. But there are so many things in that movie where the darkness kind of chases him.
Look at George Bailey. Where do we start the movie?
That's right.
I mean, that is a guy who, for all of his efforts, finds that he is at a point in his life where he thinks about committing the worst crime that somebody can commit, throwing away the beautiful gift of life. And I think that's why that movie holds up, because that struggle is timeless. Yeah. And I mean, we're three men sitting here talking about this, and this is George, I think a lot of guys, I'm trying to undercut women in this conversation. I'm just saying that movie hits me on a personal level as a father and as a husband, thinking about what we want out of life and coming to terms with the reality of life and finding joy in the things that actually matter in life. I mean, at the end of that movie where he thinks he's been a failure the whole time, you watch it a lot more graciously as an older person, and you see everybody in his life he is touched in an amazing way. And that's why that movie is so beautiful. You just don't know the people you're having an effect on in life. So for somebody out there listening, just like you're saying, somebody looking for a sign that the gray clouds are parting, there's another part of that too where you don't understand. I'm a religious person. And one of the things that we talk about in church is you don't know the experience that you're having, how they're going to be used for somebody else's benefit. And maybe you're going through that experience right now with a purpose, even though it seems dark for you. Maybe on the other side of that, you're going to be able to relate to someone in a way that you would not have before, and now you're going to be a light to that person in a way that you could not have before.
And what you can do is keep in mind that today it's about a minute longer of daylight than it was yesterday. Tomorrow is 2 minutes, so on and so forth. And it's an incremental thing that things get better. And I'm not here to tell you today that you should just cheer up and think that everything is fine.
Yeah.
Your life, your feelings are valid, but there is something better for you. You mean a lot to people. So if you've been looking for a sign, this is your sign.
All right, we're going to come back with Charlie Harger for just a few more minutes to wrap the show up, so stick around. We will be right back.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from cardholder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
We're making a difference, everybody. G. Scott here. Thanks to your generosity, more than $2.5 million has been donated to Nourishing Neighbors at Safeway, and those grocery cars have already helped families across Washington. But the need is growing. Rising costs and now massive flooding have displaced families from their homes. Please help. When you shop at Safeway, donate at checkout. Your gift provides grocery cars so families can shop with dignity. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE. Go to k2visionrle.com and schedule a free Zoom consultation today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Permanently.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
A special message from Hartley and Wilcox Family Farms.
This time of year, as we enjoy family, I think about how life on the farm must have been over 100 years ago. One thing that remains constant is our love of family, the animals, and the land. So as your family gathers, we hope you feel good about cooking and baking with fresh, local Wilcox eggs, just like we've done for the past 100 years. From our family to yours, happy holidays. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day. That's cvshealth.com/investor day.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. Claim your free panel today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
All right, we're back with Charlie Harder from Seattle's Morning News. It was a very, very thought-provoking piece on mynorthwest.com that you can read right now about the holidays and mental health and, appropriately for this time of year, seeing darkness in kind of a dark world. So Charlie is back with us. And Greg, you noticed something in the article.
Charlie, you wrote, and I need you to hear this, your feelings are real. I'm not going to pretend they aren't. But feelings can lie to you. Now, this is something we actually tell our kids a lot when they're talking to themselves. We say, we want to validate that you're feeling this right now, but not all feelings are true. What do you mean by that?
I think that we go through this life and we have these suspicions, these ideas of how the world perceives us, oftentimes we are wronged, but maybe it's not as wronged as you might somehow perceive it. And when you are in your feelings, and it is a desperate place at times, it's a dark place, and that darkness can just surround you. And the more you can be thinking of positive intent, maybe somebody is not coming at me necessarily trying to mess my life up, as perhaps they are making a mistake. perhaps people aren't perceiving me the way I know I am meaning to be perceived. A lot of stuff can be going on. And maybe if you can just realize that you get stuck in a place, but there is a way out. There is help.
You know, the other interesting thing, too, is a lot of the focus. Part of what caught my eye about your piece is you talk about focusing on yourself, which is a phenomenal thing, you know, to make sure that you're in the best state you can possibly be. But I have personally found that too much inner focus, for me personally, can also cause me to feel a little bit anxious. And especially around this time of year, you think about like, all right, charitable giving, things like that. It doesn't always have to be financial. You know, you can do things for people charitably, and it does a lot of good for your soul. And it doesn't have to be just in dollars that you're throwing. Everybody buys stuff at the grocery store. There's always that thing at the end that says, would you like to donate to Solving Hunger and all these things? Those things are great. And if you can make those donations, that's great. There's also ways that you can just like kind of be nice to somebody that you maybe weren't otherwise going to be nice to. You could do a small kindness for somebody. It's those little things that you can do that are outward that I think also are hugely beneficial to us as we talk about, you know, trying to make sure that we're feeling, you know, light in these dark times.
Think about when you're on an airplane. It's a cliche, right? That you're to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right? That's what they say. And it is important that we do that. But they're also not saying not to help other people with their oxygen mask once you get your own on.
Yeah.
And so, yes, both can be true. And it is important to take care of yourselves. And for so many of us, that also includes taking care of others.
It's a fantastic piece. You guys should read it. It's at mynorthwest.com. You should check it out. And Charlie, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, there he goes, Charlie Harger. Christmas time. I'm not going to see you before the holidays, and we have a very short amount of time left here. How do you guys celebrate in the Tomlin household?
We usually have our own family traditions in our immediate family. Then we get together with the expanded Tomlin clan. And it's fun. But you know what I've found over the years, Jake, is don't hold on too tightly to rituals and traditions. Don't make them sacrosanct or too sacred, because some years you do need to break it up a little bit for whatever reason. Schedules don't align or you're too exhausted or whatever. So I've been kind of loosening the grip a little bit on some of the holiday traditions.
Trying some new stuff.
Try some new stuff, or just take it easy, because sometimes they can become a burden if they must be strictly adhered to year over year with no compromise.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of where I'm at this year.
Yeah, we're doing the same. You know what? I'm going to take your advice. I think we might just skip Christmas this year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
That's what my kids would love for me to do. No, just kidding. We're not. We'll have a very Merry Christmas with your family, however you guys celebrate it. And I will be back tomorrow. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, and we'll have one more show before the big day. So you guys have a great rest of your day. John Curley's coming up next.
Here we go. Darnold has time. Looks inside. It's caught. The Seahawks win the game.
Playoff berth?
An instant classic.
This is who we are. That's Seahawks football.
Check.
Probably the craziest game I've ever seen.
With the playoffs looming, what's next?
You know, we're always going to fight.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com.
They now have the inside track on having the best record in the NFC.
And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
When you start thinking seriously about retirement, it sneaks up on you. One day, you're planning kids' activities. The next, you're thinking about Social Security, travel plans, and maybe grandkids. You can't just hope your savings will stretch. You need a plan that actually fits your life. And that's where Trajan Wealth comes in. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. At Trajan Wealth, you are working with fiduciary advisors, which means they're not selling you products. They're acting in your best interest. And let me tell you, you can feel the difference. Trajan is veteran-owned and family-run. I love that. They specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings to protect and grow what you've worked so hard to achieve. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state.
I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Maryhill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1.